Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Baylor Scott and White Health, the official hospital and healthcare system of Baylor Athletics. Your healthcare, your way. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. TFNB, your bank for life. The official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Tip-off is just moments away. Now, back to the voice of Baylor women's basketball, Derek Smith.
Friday Night Lights for Baylor women's basketball. It's the first true road game of the year for the 7th-ranked Bears in Las Vegas, Nevada, to take on the Rebels of UNLV. Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. Alongside Lori Fogelman, I'm Derek Smith. We come to you from the pavilion on the campus of UNLV in Las Vegas. Cameron Savoy, our producer, back in Waco. Two undefeated teams tipping it up tonight here for the Bears on the road. Now, granted, they've obviously played away from home this year, a long way away from home, but this is the first true road game environment, and we're actually expecting a big crowd here in Las Vegas this evening. This is Conecuh Sausage Countdown to tip-off. We're about 30 minutes away from the start of this one, and Lori, for the Bears, you know, you had that big top 10 win over Duke right off the bat. Then you had a win over Lindenwood on Sunday in which you didn't play your best in a lot of ways, and sometimes that can be good. You always want to play your best, but I think the team was reminded, oh, you got to respect everyone. You got to bring it 40 minutes every single game, and I think they brought it at times, but not the full 40 minutes. And now they've got an opportunity to do that tonight and look to stay unbeaten in the process.
You know that big win over Duke just made Baylor's target on their back just more massive than it was. Baylor jumped up to number 7 in the AP poll, number 14 in the USA Today coaches poll. So you know that one of the reasons why they're banking on a big crowd here at UNLV tonight is because they see this on their schedule as a game to circle, and it's one of the signature wins that the Rebels are looking for. So Baylor needs to come out, play that full 40, and make sure that they get out of Las Vegas with a victory.
You know, that was a big jump, Lori. Baylor moved up 9 spots in the AP poll, which frankly you don't see a lot, and maybe Baylor was a little underranked to start the year. I think we'll see as time goes on. I know Coach Nikki doesn't care too much about that stuff. You know, obviously you want respect, but that's not really her concern. But we saw the team move up 9 spots, and you're right. You know, for UNLV and everyone on the schedule, it's going to be big circling the date against Baylor. But for Baylor, you really need to embrace, I think, to be playing in March in the places you want to play, you got to embrace being the hunted, and I think this team will. And I think we've seen some early signs that this team has some of the chops to be a team that's hunted. And I think it starts with, at least through the first 2 games, with Talia Scott, who was named the Big 12 Player of the Week in her first week as a Bear. 53 points in her first 2 games in a Baylor uniform. And man, they said she's a scorer, and she is.
She's a salty player, and she is not afraid of the moment. And I think her confidence just permeates the entire team. And Talia Scott was, she was Big 12 Player of the Week. She was NCAA and Big 12 starting 5-member Players of the Week. She was the U.S. Women's Basketball Association and Myers-Drysdale National Player of the Week. I mean, and deservedly so. I think she's caught a lot of attention earlier, and sometimes you need one of those players who you know you can put the ball in her hands, and nearly 50% of the time that ball is going in. Again, not afraid of the moment, and certainly glad Talia Scott is on our team.
Bella Fauntleroy had 26 points against Lindenwood as well. They combined for 55 points in the win on Sunday. Lori, we'll talk about this more as the game goes on, but if there's an area I think you really want to see improvement from the first 2 games, it's bench play. Baylor's been outscored by the opposing bench in both games so far. Last Sunday, outscored by Lindenwood 20-6 off the bench. And obviously Baylor starters were more than up to that challenge, but that's an area, as you think long term, you want to see Kyla Abraham bounce back. and have a big game. Yu Ting Dong perhaps stepping up. Markayla Johnson, a true freshman as well, even having more productivity out there.
They accounted for themselves pretty well against Duke, especially Kyla Abraham. Abraham had 4 points and 6 big rebounds, and she was 1 for 2 from the free throw line, and I'll take 50%. I think she missed that first free throw, made that second one, and that was at a key moment when you really needed that point, that one singular point from Kyla Abraham. But you're right, against Lindenwood, the Baylor bench only managed to score 6 points, and that was with them playing a lot of minutes, and so there was very little productivity out of that. And I think that the bench has certainly been challenged, and you hope that they certainly rise to the occasion today with those opportunities to get out there and play for the Baylor Bears.
This is Conecuh Sausage Countdown to tip off here from UNLV tonight. Conecuh Sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork. Their patented blend of seasonings and smoked over a pure hickory fire for that true hickory smoked southern flavor. Conecuh Sausage is always great on the grill and perfect for tailgating. Pick up a pack and enjoy in your family's favorite recipes at any meal of the day. Conecuh Sausage, a game day tradition, and the official smoked sausage of the Baylor Bears. Ahead later on, we're going to hear from Bears head coach Nikki Collin a little over 10 minutes away. But when we come back, the Big 12 Player of the Week, Talia Scott, visits with Lori Fogelman. That's straight ahead as we get you ready for Baylor and UNLV here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect.
Sounds good, Derek.
Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems too good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Lee Green alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health, enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in-network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
Do you want to earn points while cheering on your favorite Baylor teams? Join Baylor Bold Rewards. Track your attendance on the Baylor Sports across athletic events and earn points towards prizes and experiences. Download the Baylor Sports app or register online today at BaylorBoldRewards.com and start earning your points today.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Bears are back out on the floor here at the Pavilion in Las Vegas, UNLV campus, in anticipation of tonight's game warming up. Looks like the UNLV Lady Rebels will soon be joining them on the floor. Talia Scott out there for the Bears, the reigning Big 12 Player of the Week. What a job she did in her first week as a Baylor Bear. 26.5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists per game. As you said, Lori, she shot nearly 50% from the floor, 41% from downtown, and 88% from the free throw line. And it's funny, you can already tell she's got the chops to get on herself for the 2 free throws that she missed and still perform. That you like that. You like a player who holds herself to a high standard, and even as she kind of gets on herself for not performing at her peak, she's able to keep performing at high levels.
She is, and even when she was in foul trouble against is that against Duke?
Yes.
Is that right?
Early
just
on,
trying
yeah.
to, that's Paris seems like a million years ago. But she had to sit on the bench and just watch her teammates play. But when she got back in there, my goodness, did she make a huge difference. And boy, was she big down the stretch against the Blue Devils with 12 points in that fourth quarter. And again, I said it earlier, just unafraid of the moment. And I think that just elevates your entire team when somebody has that kind of confidence, and they can back it up with their play.
And you had a chance to visit with her before the game here, Lori.
That was great to talk to Talia Scott and to get a chance to get to know her a little bit and to understand what it was like for her to have to just play a couple of games last year with Auburn, hurt your wrist, and then have to sit out for the rest of the season. It was great to see her get back in and play for the Baylor Bears.
Here's Talia Scott with Lori.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I've been waiting I was hurt last year, and so being able to come back and be around a great group of people and be around great coaches that always have my back and know how to put me in the best positions to be successful. It's been fun, and these past two games were amazing for me to be back on the court and hooping.
In the first two games, you had Duke beat a top 10 team on the road in Paris, France, and then came back home and hosted Lindenwood. You all started off just scorching hot, and then probably got a little closer than it should have been. So how did the team and the coaches then respond in practice as you got ready for this UNLV game?
Yeah, we just have to remember that if we're going to be a top team, we have to prepare like a top team, and I feel like we all felt like we didn't do a great job of that. And so coming back, refocusing, and knowing that if we're going to be one of the best teams in the country, we have to prepare like one of the best teams in the country. And I think everybody has hopped on board and everybody is buying into what the coaches want. And it all starts in the preparation. I feel like we did
Sounds good.
Going back and refocusing.
All right, well, good luck today. But before we let you go, we're going to do 3 quick get-to-know Talia Scott questions. So, number 1, favorite go-to snack?
Favorite go-to snack? Probably Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its. Best snack ever.
Favorite basketball players, NBA and WNBA?
Asia Wilson for WNBA, and then for NBA, I have 2, Damian Lillard and Kyrie.
What are you listening to right now?
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since
Chris Short.
Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
If you're stuck in a high auto loan rate, it's time to call an Audible.
Hi, I'm Joe Betsy Tyler with First Central. When it comes to your auto loan, you don't have to stay in a bad formation. Call the right play. Refinance with First Central and get a lower rate, fast approvals, and a team that knows how to win local.
Visit firstcentralcu.com and apply today.
First Central Credit Union. Everything we do for you.
Membership and loan policy requirements apply. Member NCUA.
The Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event is on, and there's no one key to victory. You need strength. You need power. You need agility. You need a team that shows up ready to win. And Toyota Trucks, yeah, they bring the full roster. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for all. With available bed-mounted power outlets, massive towing capability, and a cabin fit for your crew, Toyota Tundra and Tacoma don't just show up to game day, they dominate it. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. But hurry, these deals won't last forever.
Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Wear green, haul gold in a new Tundra or Tacoma. Built to take you wherever the road leads, on game day and beyond. Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
See for yourself why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green, along with her dedicated optometrists and staff. Receive trustworthy insights about your eye health, enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes, face, and neck areas with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Visit greeneyeassociates.com. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems too good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in-network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
In Las Vegas, taking on UNLV, and it's time for our pregame. Bears head coach Nikki Collin, Baylor number 7 in the nation with a 2-0 record. And Coach Nikki, really two very different games, two very different types of games. In your first two, top 10 win over Duke in Paris, and then a tight win against Lindenwood at home. Because it was in a couple possessions in the fourth quarter. What do you, through 80 minutes of basketball, take away from those first two, and what are some of the key things you want your team to take away from those first two in tonight's game against the Rebels?
Well, I think preparation is key. I think that you realize some of the maturity stuff with your team and how you prepare and the importance of preparation. And Duke was a team that we prepared for. With our players, some of them unknowingly, for months, and some of the actions we were making them guard early in September and October were things we thought we were going to see against Duke. And then you turn around and you have a little bit of jet lag, and it's the home opener, and it's just a whole different feeling. And I don't know that we had maturity about our preparation for that game. And so I think I learned a lot about, okay, what does our team need to focus on from game to game, and not making any assumptions about who's doing their work, and paying attention in film and studying their scouts and things like that. And so I think we learned some of that. I also think Lindenwood was a good basketball team that offensively had a lot of player movement and ball movement, and and so they picked on us in areas, and you and I were talking, and it's like, you're never a polished product in November, and just because you beat a top 10 team in your opener doesn't mean you don't have a ton to work on. And I think we've got a lot of areas that we need to improve. We need to improve in our bench. We need to work, off ball, defensively. I think we need to share the ball better offensively. I mean, there are so many areas that we have to grow to be an elite team down the stretch. But, fortunately we're 2-0 and we get to keep clipping along.
You mentioned the bench, just 2 games, but outscored by the other team's bench in both games. What are some areas that you low-hanging fruit to improve? Or are there areas where you're kind of challenging some of your players to improve?
Yeah, I think, I think we know what we're going to get from Kyla. I don't think she had the energy in the Lindenwood game that she had in the Duke game. I think we can get consistent energy from her. I think we can get rim protection, and I think she needs to be more of an impact on offense around the rim. I think she's capable at this point in her career at dominating a lot of people on the low block, and so I want to see her grow in that area. I think Yu Ting is just figuring things out, but I think she's a player that can make us dynamically different as she learns schemes, as she understands her strengths and weaknesses and playing to her strengths and minimizing her weaknesses. She's an elite shot maker who's just kind of trying to find her way. But I think, she's someone that can actually make us better in time, when we go to our bench. I think Markayla's given us good energy, but learning to consistently play up ends and what the expectations are and the different defensive coverages and then how to move the basketball. I mean, she's such a sniper, and her ability to score is going to be important to us, but her ability to create for others, to get off the ball, to create good spacing, and to learn why we do what we do. I think we have a really elite bench, and I just don't think that they've shown it. And I think the tough part is when you open against Duke, you're probably going to not go as deep. And then Lindenwood, we went deep, and then we were struggling. And so you have to find ways to win the game. But I absolutely believe over time our bench will be a strength for us. It hasn't been that way through 2 games.
Finally, Coach Nick, your first true road game at UNLV tonight. We saw them last year, but, they lost their top 2 scorers from last year's team. Who are they this year?
It's a good question. I think they've been a team that has found a way to win 2 games so far against teams that have been traditionally good in a Washington State and DePaul, but maybe aren't quite as good this year. But I think they're winners. I think Lindy is a really good coach in terms of schemes and understanding her team and finding ways. I think this team is really playing through Alexander and Roland. Alexander's a year ago was kind of that space up shooter on the wing that probably got opponent's 3rd best perimeter defender. And now she's kind of stepped into the limelight. Roland was 6th player of the year. Now she's kind of a go-to in the low block, but has the ability to drive it from the high post. Her game is actually pretty similar, a little more low post driven than KJ, but similar to KJ in terms of length, ability to shoot the 3, put it on the floor, use her athleticism to rim protect. So they're kind of playing through those 2, and they're isolated a lot, and they certainly run some sets and a lot of different things, but a lot of times it comes down to those 2 making plays. So I think they've played pretty good team defense so far. They've mixed man and zone, and then they've relied on those 2 to carry them offensively.
All right, thanks very much. Bears head coach Nikki Collin with the pregame comments. It's Baylor and UNLV coming up from Las Vegas here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hellberg Barbecue.
Here we go.
Family-owned business started here in Waco, Texas, and proud to serve the local area. They love to cater.
Oh, it has said first. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Serving Baylor and its families is one of their favorite things, and they even ship barbecue nationwide. Check them out while here in Waco or online and support one of Waco's local barbecue restaurants, Hellberg Barbecue. Salt, pepper, and a whole lot of prayer.
Hi, I'm Jim Turner.
All right. Yes, sir.
Chevrolet in McGregor. As we celebrate our 10th year anniversary, I want to say thank you to all of our customers. Our dealership is more than a business to me. That's why for a reliable new Chevy or award-winning service, we treat you like family. Come see our new collision center, now open to serve you even better for many years to come. Enjoy the game, then come see us at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. Together, let's drive.
Kids can now join the Baylor Cub Club, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics, presented by Green Eye Associates. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive giveaway access, and their own membership package. To register your Cub, please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to Nextlink Internet. With Nextlink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds up to gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, NextLink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give NextLink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears.
Fox Sports Radio, 93.9 K230CK and KRMX HD3 Waco.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
If you're stuck in a high auto loan rate, to call an Audible.
Hi, I'm Joe Betsy Tyler with First Central. When it comes to your auto loan, you don't have to stay in a bad formation. Call the right play. Refinance with First Central and get a lower rate, fast approvals, and a team that knows how to win local.
Visit firstcentralcu.com and apply today.
First Central Credit Union. Everything we do for you.
Membership and loan policy requirements apply. Member NCUA.
This is Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Brooks wants to drive in on Abraham, who blocked her shot.
Way to go, Abraham. She held her ground.
Top of the key and traffic out to Fauntleroy. Here's a three from the left side, and it's good.
Today's game is brought to you by Central National Bank, proud season sponsor of Baylor Women's Basketball. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Baylor Scott and White Health, the official hospital and healthcare system of Baylor Athletics. Your healthcare, your way. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. TFNB, your bank for life. The official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Get ready. Tip-off is just moments away. Now, back to the voice of Baylor Women's Basketball, Derek Smith.
Well, the lights are down here in Las Vegas. They're announcing the starting lineups, and it's about to get loud in here because they'll announce the starters for the home team, the UNLV Lady Rebels. They've gone all out for this game here at the Pavilion. This is not a large arena, about 3,000 people, but they worked hard to fill it up, and it is pretty full here. This is their premier really game of the year in terms of a non-conference game, and they play some big Mountain West games, but obviously they've got a top 10 team here in Baylor, and they've acted like it. Good crowd here on hand. Lori, Baylor will have played in front of bigger crowds, but I think they're going to play in front of one that's kind of intimate right on top of them tonight.
That's what I was about to describe this as. They will be loud. It will be loud in here, and we have a great contingent of Baylor fans who are here across the way behind the Baylor bench, but they're outnumbered by the Rebels in Red, who are here on a Friday night in Las Vegas to watch the Lady Rebels and the Bears of Baylor tackling one of these early season November matchups.
UNLV actually leads the all-time series between these two teams, 4 games to 1. I was too. Baylor's first win came last year, 71-64 victory at Foster Pavilion over the Lady Rebels. That game was actually tied at halftime. Now, this Lady Rebels team lost their top 2 scorers from last year, but so far it looks like Lee Alexander and Meadow Rowland are stepping up into that. And Lori, I think it'll be big early for the Bears. You know, a great start on Sunday wasn't Baylor's problem in the win over Lindenwood. They scored the game's first 18 points, but sustaining that. I think today you really want to try to see if you can take this crowd out early, but whether you can or can't, you know, just to sustain that high level of play. That's what we saw falter when the bench came in on Sunday against the Lindenwood Lions. That's what you want to avoid tonight.
Yeah, jumping out to that 18-0 lead, and then they were outscored in the first quarter, and you know, and it got a little bit close in that game. So you really do want your bench players to not feel the pressure, but again, to be able to stack some positive possessions on both offensive and defensive sides of the ball. It sounded like I was talking about a football game and not basketball, but it's still the same. And
I follow.
And you are playing a team at UNLV who has managed to beat two teams and to really hold on and win those games, beating DePaul and beating Washington State, and they've been able to do it here at home. So they're playing another game where they're comfortable. You really want to want to see Baylor get off to a good start and see what they could do to really knock UNLV a little bit off their game rather than the other way around.
You know, and this is a UNLV team. It's got some scores, but if Baylor can bring the kind of defensive effort that we saw against Duke, that'll go a long way towards getting the team off to a good start. Starting lineups being introduced here. I'll remind you once again for the Bears, it's Van Geitenbeek, Scott, Fauntleroy, Buggs, and KJ. Kirsten Johnson for UNLV, it's Colvin, Brown, Lott, Alexander, and Rowland. And they're being introduced here with the lights down here. You might be able to picture this arena, possibly. If you've ever seen the NBA Summer League games, if you're a fan of a team and you've seen their Summer League team highlights or watched any games, they play in this facility, Lori, so fans might have seen this place before.
Now, that way, so to your left, you walked out, right? And you walked into the Thomas and Mack Center, is that correct?
Yeah, you can see where the UNLV men's team plays.
Yeah,
yep,
so we're in the same facility, or the same vicinity, and we're connected, but we're playing in what they do call the pavilion, and the lights will come on, we hope, here in just a couple of minutes, and we'll get this game underway. And got Kirsten Johnson in the middle for Baylor, about to jump. Get this game started.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're ready. It feels like it's been a long day. I think it's because we're out here in Pacific time, and it just throws your whole schedule off.
It does.
It makes your days feel longer. So they're chomping at the bit to get going.
Well, it looks like UNLV, if what we see right now is here, they're going to concede the tip because the Bears have 6'4" Kirsten Johnson at midcourt. UNLV has 5'7" Tegan Colvin. So,
and that is kind of unsurprising for UNLV because what they really like to do is slow the pace of play. And, for Baylor, it's all about execution and running.
Baylor wins the tip, and they start on offense. Here's Bella Fauntleroy driving to the baseline, finding Buggs left elbow, spinning in the lane, leans inside, drives hard, but can't finish with the left hand. And Rowland clears the first rebound for UNLV. They come back the other way as Rowland looks to hand it off to Colvin and does so. Left-hand dribble, swings it across perimeter left to Brown. Brown on the drive to the left wing, fires up top, nearly knocked away by Johnson as Rowland gets it ahead to their leading scorer, Aaliyah Alexander. 35 seconds gone, no score in this game. We're down to 7 seconds on the shot clock for UNLV. Here's Rowland with a wild shot, blocked by KJ. Picked up by Colvin, and then she drives inside and has it stripped away. Fauntleroy comes out of there with it. Outlet ahead to Johnson is too tall. Looks like Van Geitenbeek just got a little too much air under that. KJ's tall, 6'4", and athletic, but that was just a little bit too high.
Yeah, that one KJ could not corral. So it's still 0-0, both teams, and Baylor back on defense.
1 minute gone. Baylor has come up empty on its first two possessions. UNLV came up empty on their first. Here is Rowland, top of the key. Turns, faces the basket, looks to hand it off to Alexander and does fling it over to her on the right side. She tries a step back three, back rim no. Buggs collects the high rebound. She gives it off to Talia Scott, who will bring it across midcourt herself, the reigning Big 12 player of the week, into the front court. Left-hand dribble, gives it to Buggs at the free throw line, backs her way in, and floats a shot off the back iron, no, over Brown. Brown collects the rebound.
Well, Baylor's getting the ball where it wants to, is right there around the free throw line, just has not been able to get the shot to fall.
Brown kicks a pass out to an open Rowland. Her three is on line, but a bit too strong. Buggs gets the rebound and gives it ahead to Van Geitenbeek. 1:45 seconds in, no score between Baylor and UNLV. Here's Jana, head, right elbow to Buggs. Buggs, top of the key, has it knocked away, but gets it back. She drives now left side of the lane, and now is stripped by Brown, who steals it. Brown gives it ahead to Colvin in transition, and she flings it into the Baylor bench on a bounce pass. Little too much finesse there, and she just skipped it in front of the cutting Brown and out of bounds.
And give some credit to Jana Van Geitenbeek. She got back quickly, was able to move backwards and just get into some space. And I think really, they weren't sure whether she'd be able to get her hands on it. Just just mistimed the pass. And all right, Baylor's got another chance with the ball.
Nothing on the board for either team. Baylor finds Fauntleroy in the paint. She's knocked down. The ball knocked away, but Talia Scott chases it down. Scott will lean into a three. It is off the front rim, no. And as the rebound is grabbed by Rowland, a foul is called on Buggs, who seems a bit perplexed. They were boxed out on the left block, and Buggs was called for the foul from behind. That's the team's first foul on either team. We are 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the game, and Baylor 0 of 3 from the floor. UNLV is 0 of 4 with possession. You see the head coaches of these two teams, Lindy LaRocque for UNLV, Nikki Collin for the Bears at either side of midcourt. Here is Brown putting it on the floor. Wants to drive in on Fauntleroy. Fauntleroy, a good defender. A nice little flip there, though, to clear some space, and Brown lays it in. First scoring of the game comes 2 minutes and 45 seconds in, and it goes UNLV's way. Jenna Van Geitenbeek flings it on a timing pass to a cutting Buggs, who is fouled. Free throws are coming. That was a tough pass by Jana, Lori. We saw that cut by Little Paige Buggs. She had to trust Buggs to make that cut, and she did. And free throws are forthcoming.
Yeah, Buggs caught that ball. She was surrounded. It was a sea of red when she went in there. So Buggs will have to earn it from the free throw line.
That foul is on Jasmine Lott. It is her first, the first on UNLV, sending Buggs to the line, where she's 4 of 6 on the season. Jasmine Lott, a Texas native, playing here in Las Vegas from Frisco Memorial High School. Buggs too strong on the first free throw. One more coming. Baylor shooting 81% from the line on the young season through 2 games. One more coming for Buggs. UNLV with an early 2-0 lead. Make it 2-1 as Buggs drains the second free throw. 3 minutes gone here in this one. Good crowd on hand on the UNLV campus. Here is Rowland picking up speed, driving inside, floating it too strong over Johnson, and the rebound grabbed by Buggs. Here comes Jana Van Geitenbeek weaving into the front court in transition, now slows down, retreats beyond the three-point arc, directs traffic in the half court. KJ left side gives it off to Bella Fauntleroy. She had 26 points on Sunday, but she misses the three here from the left side.
But Baylor's getting some good screens and some good looks from beyond the arc, just misfiring so far from outside. They are 0 for 4 from the field.
Here's Alexander. She missed her initial shot. She gives it to Brown, who tries to fire it into a crowd on the bounce. Knocked out of bounds, and that's a turnover. It'll be Baylor basketball. And that comes with 6 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It is a 2-1 UNLV lead. Van Geitenbeek outlets ahead to Talia Scott, perimeter right, guarded by Lott. She finds a cutting. Buggs down low. Nice finish there. Athletic move by Buggs to take that feed from Scott and finish inside.
Yeah, she didn't try to do too much with the basketball. She just used those big steps of hers to be able to get quickly to the rim.
First lead of the game for Baylor. Just about 4 minutes gone in this one. 3-2 Bears. Here's Rowland averaging a double-double through 2 games. Harassed by KJ. Finds Colvin up top. Fake to 3. Drove inside. She's stripped to the basketball by Talia Scott. It'll trickle out of bounds and stay with the Lady Rebels with 9 seconds on the shot clock.
Baylor is active with their hands right now. They've only given up that one basket so far, but they have been tipping the basketball, blocking the basketball, and really denying on defense.
Some additional height in the game for UNLV. Destiny Brown comes in place of Shelby Brown. No relation. Here's the inbound pass. Looking. Lott having some trouble. Lobs it in last minute up top to Alexander. Alexander directs traffic. Shot clock at 5. At 4, she wants to drive, gets inside, tries a reverse layup, misses everything, and then the putback attempt by Brown is off the bottom of the backboard, and that's a shot clock violation.
You forced UNLV into some scramble situations, and that ball on the reverse layup wasn't anywhere near the rim. So Baylor forces another turnover, leading 3-2.
5:39 to play first quarter. Here's Scott hitting Buggs again. Looks for that same play. This time she's forced to try a follow-away jumper that skips off the rim, and the rebound picked up by Meadow Rowland. Rowland into the front court with the right-hand dribble, hands it off to Alexander. Baylor with a 3-2 lead. UNLV with the basketball. Here's a drive by Brown, misses the runner. Rebound, though, to UNLV. They're going to get a second chance look, and Alexander cashes in with an open three. Well, she got lost in the scramble and knocked down the 3. Offensive rebounds will often give you that chance, and UNLV has a 5-3 lead. Here's Scott on the left side, and she was about to try a 3 from a spot she likes, but Baylor was called for a moving screen.
That's 2 on Buggs.
That is just like that. And, we saw a little frustration from her on Sunday. Hopefully she is not right now, and she will exit with Markayla Johnson, the true freshman from Tulsa, checking in.
And Coach Nikki called her a big ball of energy. She's an energy player when she comes in. Even as a true freshman, she's played some very valuable minutes.
Here's Alexander with the basketball for the Lady Rebels. Feeds it ahead to Scott, or Lott rather, on the drive. Forces up a shot over Jana Van Geitenbeek, who's called for the foul. Jana just put her hands up in the air and maybe leaned in a bit. And that is enough to send Lott to the line following the timeout. The foul on Van Geitenbeek is her first, the team's third, and we are at our first quarter media timeout here in Las Vegas. The Rebels with the early lead. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank different. Bank Central National Bank. 5-3, UNLV. It's halfway through the first quarter here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage led by expert industry knowledge and a commitment to community. With kindness and integrity at the forefront, every agent is equipped to navigate the market and make the real estate journey your own. Whether buying or selling, feel supported with an award-winning agent at your side from first offer to contract and close. Magnolia Realty serves cities including Waco, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Temple. Learn more at magnoliarealty.com.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems too good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Well, the entire Baylor women's basketball program, and certainly those of us here on the Baylor Sports Media Network, appreciate the support of Central National Bank. Nice spots there with the voices of Dariana Littlepage Bugs, Bella Fauntleroy, and Jana Van Geitenbeek.
I'm not surprised by those three. They are a bundle of energy, and you know how much they love that opportunity to do those commercials along with Central National Bank. And have the Coach Nikki spots, have those made the debut yet?
They are forthcoming, is my understanding. Forthcoming is my understanding. So those were fantastic last year, and I hear they're going to be great again.
All right, can't wait.
This year. Here, UNLV has an early 5-3 lead, 4:51 to play in the first quarter. It has not been an offensive thing of beauty so far. UNLV 2 of 9. Baylor 1 of 6. So the two teams that combined 3 of 15 from the floor, or 20% from the field more specifically. Laura, you said it earlier, Baylor's getting some looks. They're just not hitting them.
Yeah, they want to touch the paint. That's the entire way that Baylor's offense functions. So many actions come off of getting that ball right where the Rebels logo is, right inside the paint. And Baylor's been able to consistently get in there. They just have not been able, right now just can't get those shots to fall. And then they've done a great job on the defensive end in guarding that the dribble drive by the Rebels, who just live off of that, but got caught in a scramble, got a three on an offensive rebound, and now they'll go to, you heard the crowd say, 2 shots at the free throw line for the Rebels.
And that is for Jasmine Lott. She is 12 of 12 on the year, so surely she will not miss in this trip to the line. I want to say hello to all of you watching on the Courtside Cam, brought to you by NextLink, reliable high-speed internet for your home or business, as Lott drains the first. Intimate facility here in Las Vegas and a good crowd on hand. You mentioned it, Lori. Good Baylor crowd on hand, though. Enough green and gold to be noticeable. And some family and some fans made the trip out. Second free throw by Lott also is good, and UNLV has an early, it's not so early. It's halfway through the first quarter, but it's a 7-3 Rebel lead. Jana Van Geitenbeek fakes the pass, struggles across midcourt, but does not commit an over and back violation. Do not be fooled by the crowd behind us. She swings it ahead to Markayla Johnson, gets it back, center of the floor, finds Scott down low. Zone defense for UNLV. Baylor breaks it with a pass outside to Markayla Johnson, drives to the baseline and calmly cans a 12-foot jumper.
You know, Baylor did not get thrown off by that 2-3 zone. I think they expected that at the very beginning. UNLV has mixed its defenses and earlier went to that the man-to-man defense.
Here's Lott trying a three from the left side. Too strong. Weak side board is grabbed by Markayla Johnson. Bears with the ball down 7-5, 6 minutes into the game. It is Jana Van Geitenbeek, Markayla Johnson, Talia Scott, Bella Fauntleroy. Now Kyla Abraham on the floor for the first time. Open look for three from Talia Scott. No. Nice job there by Bella Fauntleroy. Oh, she almost was able to chase that down in the corner, but didn't quite get it before it was out of bounds. UNLV, by the way, they will send Lott to the bench, and Destiny Leo checks in. She's a good three-point shooter, a transfer from Cleveland State. So they are playing with Alexander, Roland, Brown, Leo, and Colvin. They have the ball at a 7-5 lead. It is Destiny Brown swinging it over perimeter right to Alexander. She wants to drive a little bit of a push off there on Markayla Johnson, who stays with her stride for stride. Single digits on the shot clock. Here is Roland, left side, hands it off to Colvin, who fumbles, gets it back. 5 on the shot clock. Good defense by the Bears. Colvin kicks it over left wing for an open three that's airballed by Roland, and that's the second shot clock violation of the first quarter.
Did Fauntleroy get her hand on that ball? Or was that just an absolute miss from the three-point line?
UNLV bench indicated they thought she did. I'll admit I didn't think so, but it was close.
But it wouldn't have mattered because still the shot clock wound down, and yeah. Baylor down by 2 forces another turnover. See if they can get those into some points. They have forced 4 turnovers, have 1 bucket off of that.
Just 2 of 8 from the floor so far is Baylor. Here's Van Geitenbeek swinging at perimeter left to Markayla Johnson. Bounces at the free throw line to Fauntleroy. Kick out, open three. Scott, she spins it in.
There you go.
And again, they had a nice plan to break that zone defense there, Lori, and it really was focused on Fauntleroy at the free throw line making a good decision, and she did.
And it is, again, Baylor getting the ball where they need to in the paint. And, oh, what a block from Kyla Abraham.
Titus Leo thought she had a three from the left wing, and the 6'4 Abraham came swooping over to block it out of bounds. It'll stay with UNLV, but that was a nice play by Kyla Abraham as Bella Fauntleroy gets a break, and KJ, Kirsten Johnson, checks back in. This is that 2 bigs look that was very successful, Lori, against Duke in Paris. 8-7, Baylor leads. 2:51 to play first quarter. Inbound to Alexander, being guarded by Markayla Johnson. The other Johnson, KJ, Kirsten Johnson, now guarding Roland, who took the feed. Roland got a step, but then KJ did a nice job staying with her. Nonetheless, Roland's able to hit a turnaround from the mid-block. UNLV back on top 9-8 as Van Geitenbeek races into the front court, then slams on the brakes and feeds it ahead to Johnson. Left side to Scott. Scott on the drive, kick up top to Abraham. That's beyond her range, so she feeds it over to Van Geitenbeek. Van Geitenbeek bounces beautifully to a cutting Abraham for 2.
Wow, that is, again, it's all about touching the paint, isn't it, Derek? Every single time Baylor does that, they find a way and space to be able to operate and score.
Baylor up 10-9. UNLV with the basketball. Just over 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Here's Destiny Brown dribbling to the right side of the floor, giving it off to Leo. Had her three blocked a moment ago by Abraham. She bounces down low to Brown. Brown circles beneath the basket, cuts off beneath it, but she finds Lott, who somehow got loose in the paint, and she finishes with the layup. She just got lost there in the defense there, and they were able to find her when Baylor had Brown pinned beneath the basket. UNLV back on top by 1. Here's a long step-back three from Scott that's short, and the rebound grabbed by Brown. 11-10, UNLV with the basketball in the lead. Just under 90 seconds to play in the first quarter. Here's Brown putting it on the floor, giving it over to Leo, perimeter right. Leo wants to drive. She gets caught up with Scott, and Scott is called for the blocking foul. That was one of those you thought might go either way. For a second, I actually thought they might just let him play, but no, they do call the foul on Talia Scott. That's her first and the 4th on the Bears. Brown and Alexander exit. Colvin checks back in for UNLV, along with Lott back in. Yuting Dong is in for the Bears in place of Talia Scott. 20 seconds to shoot for UNLV as they prepare to play it in. Baylor trainer Shalisa Fonza wiping a little wet spot off the floor for player safety.
Other duties as assigned.
She's always looking to protect the players. Certainly Baylor first and foremost.
Absolutely.
But both teams.
Yes.
It'll be Leo to play it in. Leo, L-E-O, like you'd expect. Destiny Leo from Ohio now playing out here in Las Vegas. She flings it way beyond the arc to Rowland, now back to Colvin. And as they get an open look for Leo for three, there's a moving screen that's going to go against the Rebels to Springer. That's on Shelby Brown, her first and the second on the Lady Rebels. That gives Baylor the basketball back, trailing by 1, 1:16 to play. First quarter, it's 11-10. They were pressing in the backcourt, but Baylor's able to break it with a little two-person machinations from KJ and Van Geitenbeek. Here's Dong, top of the arc. Now, trying to decide what to do, gives it up middle of the floor to Abraham, who fires a fastball to Van Geitenbeek. A three off the screen is off the mark, and then the Bears are called for a moving screen to boot. That's the third moving screen of the first quarter called by the officials. This one on Kyla Abraham.
You know, earlier today, the team was talking about that, how you just got to be really good at judging where you're supposed to stop and do that screen. Otherwise, you will be called on that. And gosh, 3 of them already.
Here's a drive by Lott, and she got a step on the defender and was able to lay it in. That gives UNLV a 3-point edge at 13-10. 35 seconds to play first quarter, 23 for the Bears on the shot clock. Bears down by 3. Here's Markayla Johnson beyond the arc. Finding Johnson. She's 2 for 2 from downtown. Make it 3 for 3 as she ties the game with a 3 from the left side. UNLV can play for the last shot of the first quarter. It is Lott high on the left sideline. Guarded out well beyond the basket by Yuting Dong in her first year with the Bears. Under 10 seconds to play first quarter. Lott dribbling crossed hand. Now drives with the right hand over to the right side of the floor. And she traveled with the basketball. And that, she passed it for a 3 that was made by Rowland, but she traveled. That gives it back to the Bears with 4 seconds to go the length. Actually, they're going to play it in about 3/4 court in front of the Baylor bench. Inbound to Van Geitenbeek with 2, with 1. It's knocked out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Bears with 1.1 seconds to play here in the first quarter. The Bears will have a catch-and-shoot opportunity to close out this first quarter with the score tied at 13. Johnson tries to lob it down low, and it's intercepted by Rowland, and that's the way the first quarter draws to a close. Well, neither team really got it going offensively, and at the end of one, we are tied at 13 apiece. We are brought to you by Pepsi. Hey, Bears fans, this basketball season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for basketball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Baylor and UNLV tied at 13 at the end of the first quarter in Las Vegas here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab, and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by. Let's be friends.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Well, this game went almost the first 3 minutes without a team scoring, and then despite not being the prettiest offensive game, it was back and forth from there. We actually had 6 lead changes in a tie in a first quarter. That tie came at the end. Baylor and UNLV tied at 13, and you know, Lori, if you're Baylor, I think you got to kind of just keep doing some of what you're doing and maybe protect the basketball a little bit better and make the most of the turnovers you force. That's been one thing. You know, Baylor has forced 6 UNLV turnovers, and now granted Baylor's turned it over 5 times as well, but Baylor has scored just 5 points off of those 6 UNLV turnovers.
Yeah, and then you know, the turnovers also from fouls and that. without Bugs out there. I mean, Bugs was a central part of the offense when the game began. She was so quick at getting to the rim, just couldn't get it to drop, and picks up a couple of fouls, and so she's going to be on the bench for a while. And so that is why bench play comes in. I mean, Johnson's come in and scored, and that would be Markayla Johnson, who also just assisted Kirsten Johnson, KJ, on that three-pointer that tied the game at 13, which is where we are at the end of the first quarter or the beginning of the second quarter. And then you've got Yuting Dong outside and or back out on the court, and opportunities for her to show the kind of elite player that she can be, just to get more comfortable in Baylor's system.
Yuting Dong, Lori, a player who averaged double digits in 13 games last year for Auburn. She was a teammate of Talia Scott and played for Johnny Harris, now an assistant coach for the Bears. Really good three-point shooter. She hit double figures in 8 of her 12 games. I'm sorry, not 13 last year for Auburn. But I think she's going to, playing time isn't going to come quite as readily at Baylor as it did at Auburn. And for her, it's just a matter of earning it.
Yeah, when you think about just 16 games, that is not a lot.
No. Baylor will take the floor on defense with Scott, Dong, Johnson, Markayla Johnson, Kirsten Johnson, and Bella Fauntleroy. UNLV on offense first with Colvin, Brown, Lott, the game's leading scorer, with 6 points. Also Rowland and Alexander. Alexander has it. We're tied at 13 as we start the second quarter. Rowland wants to drive on Markayla, slings it ahead left side to Colvin. Colvin back middle of the floor to Brown. Brown puts it on the floor, drives inside, nearly fumbled the dribble, and then when she tried to shoot beneath the basket, her shot was emphatically blocked out of bounds by KJ.
Well, that is Baylor's third block, I believe, in this game, and maybe the second one for Kirsten Johnson. It is.
It is, yeah. They're going to play it in with 9 on the shot clock. Inbound comes to Brown. Brown tries to circle around Dong and finishes with the right hand. Shelby Brown scores for the second time on the game. She has 4 points, and she gives UNLV a 15-13 lead. Boy, let's see if the bench players out there right now for the Bears, Dong and Markayla, can do some good things. Here is Dong, head faking a three, driving inside the free throw line and missing the pull-up jumper. Offensive rebound by Fauntleroy, put it up quickly and couldn't convert. And the rebound pulled out of there by Shelby Brown. She drives into the front court, slings it left side to Alexander. Alexander's their leading scorer, but just 3 points in the first quarter. Now Brown has it again on the left baseline, wants to spin inside on Fauntleroy, and Fauntleroy is called for a foul. She was playing a solid defense there. She might have moved her arms just a little bit, and I think that's what they saw. That's Bella's first, and the first on the Bears in the second quarter. In for the first time is Mariah Elohim, a Fresno State transfer for UNLV. They have the basketball, the Lady Rebels do, and a 2-point edge 1 minute into the second quarter. Inbound pass is knocked away and nearly stolen by Fauntleroy, but the carom is grabbed again by Brown. Now Brown wants to try to drive inside again, throws an elbow into Fauntleroy, and that's an offensive foul.
I know we can't expect a whistle to come immediately, but I was going, you got to be kidding me.
It took a second.
It did, but that was clearly a foul, and so Baylor gets the turnover there on the offensive foul, and Scott will bring it up crossing the midcourt line.
Baylor down by 2. It is Scott with the ball, right-hand dribble, now accelerates to the basket, puts up a tough runner from the left block, no good. There to clean up, though, is Kirsten Johnson to lay it back in. Second chance point. She has 5 to lead the Bears. Now UNLV tries a transition 3. Alexander short, rebound tipped around, pulled out of there by Talia Scott. She's off and running into the front court, accelerates with a hesitation move and a finish with the right hand. Nice play by Talia Scott. She's got 5, and Baylor is in front, 17-15. Just about 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. Rowland wants to drive, tries to get Johnson off her feet. Instead, Johnson blocks her third shot of the evening. Here's Markayla Johnson racing. She's determined to finish. Glasses it too hard, however. Maybe a little too determined to get a shot up there, and Rowland collects the rebound for UNLV. Baylor on defense with a 2-point edge. 2 minutes gone in this second quarter. It's Elohim trying to drive on Dong. Now hooks it back to Rowland. Dribbles around Johnson. That was a nice play there. Really a nice move for the finish by Meadow Rowland, the Mountain West Player of the Week. That ties the score at 17 apiece. 7.5 minutes to play here in the opening half of basketball. Another nice move by Talia Scott, and she swoops through the left side of the floor for the layup to give Baylor the 19-17 lead once again. Now Alexander into the front court for UNLV, trying to find some room to maneuver, but she could not thanks to the defensive Fauntleroy. Now they're going to send it to Elohim on the left side of the floor. Elohim fakes a shot, drives inside, and this time Markayla Johnson blocks her shot. Yuting Dong picks it up in transition. Nice head fake and drives inside for the right-hand layup. Her second bucket as a Bear, and a nice job to get the defense just backpedaling a bit and then finish.
That was a nice finish in the open court because Baylor can motor down and work in transition against the Rebels, and what a comfortable play from Dong.
Another block by the Bears. This time Alexander drove inside. She was blocked by Talia Scott, who stands 5'9". Talia Scott with a Euro step, and she rolls it in.
6-0 lead, or 6-0 run for the Baylor Bears.
Score was tied at 17. It's now 23-17. 6.5 to play here in the opening half.
Boy, Baylor scored those 6 points in less than a minute.
And now Talia Scott is falling backwards. She tried to absorb a charge from Brown, but there was no call, and Brown laid it in. That snaps the Baylor run at 6, makes it 23-19 Baylor, 6:12 to play opening half. Here's Talia Scott. She sees an opening again, drives inside, and she's fouled. Tell you what, Lori, right now, almost every time down the floor, she's trying to take it to the hoop, and she earned a trip to the free throw line here. Foul is on Tegan Colvin, her first, and the first on UNLV here make it the second foul on UNLV here in the second quarter. And Yuting Dong, Kirsten Johnson will get a break. Jana Van Geitenbeek and Kyla Abraham are back in for the Bears as Talia Scott goes to the line for the first time. Baylor 1 of 2 from the stripe. Scott at 88% on the young season. Lori, Baylor with 6 blocks here in the first half as Talia drains the first free throw. Lori, some other games we'll be keeping our eyes on here as we move on this evening. The Baylor men playing Tarleton, and Baylor soccer hosting an NCAA tournament match against Texas State as Talia hits both free throws.
Got another big top 25, or actually a Big 12 team playing a top 25 team.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that at halftime. Big upset in women's college basketball.
Markayla Johnson will take a seat. Kira Pemberton, the North Dakota transfer, is in the ball game. 4 minutes gone second quarter. Baylor with a 25-19 lead after Scott hits both free throws. It is Brown, guarded well by Abraham, hands it off to Lott. Lott sees some room, and there's 7 blocks for the Bears as Kyla Abraham elevates and volleyball spikes her shot out of bounds from behind. Well, I got the Baylor crowd here on their feet. UNLV will play it in with 11 seconds on the shot clock and 5:49 to play in the second quarter. It'll be Alexander to play it in from the baseline beneath the basket. She is looking for Lott, finds her in the corner. She lobs it up top right side to Rowland. Rowland puts it on the floor, hands it off to Abraham, and do we have another? Hands it off to Alexander, I beg your pardon, and Baylor is called for a foul there as they set up. That's on Pemberton. Maybe she got tangled up there in that series of screens, but she's called for the foul. It's her first, the second on the Bears. Pemberton's someone who's, she's looking to have that first really good game in a Baylor uniform. She's got an opportunity here. Here's Lott on the drive, lost the basketball, was able to chase it back down, feeds it outside to Elohim, 12 on the shot clock. UNLV with the ball, Baylor with a 6-point lead. Abraham got a hand on the pass and knocked it away to Van Geitenbeek. Give her the steal. She races into the front court around an Abraham screen. Head fakes, drives inside, and just before she was able to regain control of the basketball, she walked with it. And that was the right call.
I think she thought about going in and scoring, and at the last minute thought about, there may be another player around and just turned the basketball over. But I loved seeing Jana get that motor going.
Yeah. She's still finding her rhythm.
She is.
She was out a whole year with a torn ACL. 25-19, Baylor with the lead just about halfway through the second quarter. UNLV with the basketball. It is Alexander around a screen from Brown. She tries a 3 over the outstretched arm of Abraham. It is no good. Rebound kicks out to the wing. Lott tried to chase it down, but it is out of bounds to Baylor with 5:02 to play here in the second quarter.
I'm not sure if Brown could have gotten that offensive rebound, but Talia Scott was there to make sure she had no room to be able to try to toe tap her way in.
6'3" Erica Collins in for UNLV for the first time. Here's Pemberton on the right side. Swings it left side of the floor to Abraham. Van Geitenbeek, who was waiting for a screen from Abraham. Now feeds it to Scott instead. Top of the key. Jumper rims out. Abraham fights for the rebound, and over the back foul is going to be called on the Bears, and that's going to bring us to our second quarter media timeout.
If you are scoring at home, just about everybody has a foul on the Baylor Bears.
Yeah. The whistles are blowing here this evening. Still, Baylor has a 25-19 lead at the second quarter media timeout. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank. Proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Back with more from Las Vegas after this on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
There's nothing like a Baylor home game, and First Central Credit Union wants to send you.
Hi, this is Jo Betsy Tyler with First Central. We're giving away a pair of Baylor football tickets for every home game this season. It's our way of celebrating the fans and families who make Central Texas great.
Enter now at firstcentralcu.com/football. One winner drawn each week.
First Central Credit Union. Everything we do for you.
No purchase necessary to enter.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Well, the Bears began this second quarter with a 6-0 run, and the lead is 6 at the moment, 25-19. Talia Scott sparked that run with 4 of the 6 points, and she leads all scorers with 11 points. Really, Lori? Ho-hum, just another big scoring night, at least so far, for Talia Scott, who has now scored 64 points for the Bears in less than 10 quarters of basketball.
Boy, the thing about Talia is that once she finds a rhythm, and it doesn't take long for her to do that, once she finds it, she just has that confident stroke. I mean, even when they ran the screen for her up the middle and she went around the left side right there from the elbow, I thought that ball was going in. It rimmed out. But that's the kind of player she is, that you just feel like everything's going to go in.
Well, and you look right now, she is she's just off to a hot start. 4 of 9, so just under 50%. She's 2 of 2 from the free throw line. And tell you what, there are a couple of three-point attempts I thought that she had a really good look at. She just didn't quite knock down, but she's off to a good start. Meanwhile, for UNLV, Jasmine Lott and Shelby Brown each have 6 points, so they lead the team in that category. Baylor again playing most of this first quarter without Dariana Little-Page Buggs, who's played just 5 of the first 15 minutes after early foul trouble. Well, we talked about bench points here, Lori. Baylor with a 6-0 lead in that category so far. A long way to go, but so far, Yu-Ting Dong with 2 points, Kyla Abraham with 2 points, Markayla Johnson also with 2. And it's not just that. You look off the bench for the Bears, Markayla Johnson has an assist. Yu-Ting Dong has a rebound, and then blocked shots already for the Bears. 4 of them. No, Kirsten Johnson has 4, I beg your pardon. Kyle Abraham has 2 off the bench, as does Markayla Johnson. So the bench has contributed here so far.
Well, some valuable minutes. And again, you see players like Markayla Johnson. She's going to get a little extra time. Valuable minutes here for Kira Pemberton as well.
UNLV with the basketball out of the second quarter media timeout. Markayla Johnston, Kirsten Johnson, Fauntleroy, Van Geitenbeek, and Pemberton are on the floor for the Bears. Alexander has it for UNLV out there with Rowland, with Collins, with Colvin, and Elohim and Lott. Lott tries a 3 out of the left corner, no good. Offensive rebound by the 6'3 Collins, hands it back to Lott, who drives inside and hangs for the layup.
Those second chance points, again, you get those long shots that come off the rim, and so far those second chance points, I think they're at least 5 for the Rebels.
Here's Markayla Johnson from the free throw line. It's short. Rebound is grabbed by Rowland. UNLV with a 9-2 edge on second chance points here in the first half. We're under 4 minutes to play before halftime here. It's Elohim with the basketball. Here is a pass into the corner. It is Alexander trying to step back three and way too strong. It clanked off the back iron. Rebound grabbed by Markayla Johnson. And here come the Bears up 25-21. 3.5 to play first half. Markayla Johnson finds KJ top of the arc. Feeds it left wing to Van Geitenbeek. Back to KJ. Tries to lob it down low to Bella Fauntleroy, who is hit in the face. And honestly, that may have been about I hate to say, about the best case outcome for the Bears.
I think you're right.
Because KJ threw it into a triple team, and thankfully Baylor maintains possession, although Bella Fauntleroy a little the worse for wear, getting hit in the face.
Hey, Bella Fauntleroy is as tough as they come.
It's true. Jana Van Geitenbeek to play it in beneath the basket. Baylor with the ball up 25-21. Jana looking, calls for Pemberton, who comes and gets it. Pemberton puts it on the floor, drives inside. Oh, and she had the ball just taken away by Lott as she tried to drive into a crowd. Lott gives it back to Rowland. Fakes a three, drives inside. KJ back with her, but KJ slides by defensively, and Rowland hits a tough turnaround. Rowland, their leading scorer, a second leading scorer on the year. She's got 6 points, 7 rebounds here early. Here's Van Geitenbeek stepping into a three, off the mark. Rebound grabbed by Collins. They have the ball. UNLV does, trailing Baylor by 2, 25-23, with just under 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. It is Lott on the left side, guarded by Van Geitenbeek. Feeds it up top to Leo. She's stripped to the basketball by Markayla Johnson, who stays with it. Got a hand on it, and that's going to be a jump ball going Baylor's way. That was just effort and focus on the defensive end by Markayla Johnson.
That was, and I mean, her arm was turned in a funky direction, too. And I'm just so glad she was able to keep her hand on the basketball and give Baylor an opportunity. They've been outscored 6-2. They had a lead of 6 points, and that's the largest lead that they've had about just a little over 3 minutes ago. And since then, it's been pretty much all Rebels.
Baylor up 25-23 with possession. Talia Scott back in for Pemberton. Around a KJ screen, head fakes, drives to the left baseline, kicks it out for an open look at a three. Bella Fauntleroy drains it.
Boy, Bella just quiets this crowd. That beautiful shot, that stroke from her. She was in great position on an excellent feed from Talia Scott with her second assist.
First bucket for Bella Fauntleroy off the second assist from Talia Scott. Now UNLV, though, catches Baylor in transition as Collins gets loose beneath the basket for two. That cuts the Baylor lead back to 3 at 28-25 with 2:10 to play. Now Baylor's pass is tipped by UNLV out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bears. We've seen 3 ties and 7 lead changes in the first half in this game. Markayla Johnson will move over to the left side of the floor to play it into Van Geitenbeek, cutting towards midcourt. Now she turns and faces the basket. Finds Markayla Johnson against that zone defense of UNLV. It's Scott finding Bella Fauntleroy at the free throw line. Nearly lost it. Now hooks it back outside to Scott. In the corner, Markayla Johnson. She's on the drive. Tough floater. Oh, it was halfway down and coughed back out. Rebound grab by Rowland. UNLV with the basketball, down by 3. Here is Alexander floating in the lane. A tough hanger falls home. That cuts the Baylor lead to 1 with just under 100 seconds to play in the opening half. Here's Talia Scott, slicing it over to Bella Fauntleroy and handing it off to Markayla Johnson. Markayla Johnson to Talia Scott, middle of the floor, finds Fauntleroy at the free throw line. She kicks it out to Markayla Johnson, whose 3 is short. Offensive rebound, though, by KJ, put back good.
That's 2 of those offensive boards and putbacks that KJ has had, and what she's done so well is go straight up. No over the back, but 2 great offensive rebounds to be able to pull down or get 4 points for Baylor.
Baylor by 3, just over a minute to play first half. Here's Alexander wanting to drive on Van Geitenbeek. Hangs, absorbs contact, and can't quite hit the free throw line jumper. KJ spikes the rebound to Talia Scott, and here come the Bears. Talia Scott races into the front court. Nice spin in the paint, and she's stripped to the basketball. She got caught in a crowd there, and UNLV comes out of there with it. In transition, it is Lott. 43 seconds to play first half. Alexander bounces left baseline. Jumper no good from Rowland, though. Weak side rebound to Markayla Johnson. Baylor can't quite play for the last shot. 32 seconds to play. 7 seconds between the clocks here on the opening half in Las Vegas. Baylor with the ball in a 30-27 lead. Looks like they're going to try to drain some clock here as Talia Scott is running the point at the moment. Right-hand dribble at midcourt. She starts her drive with 10 on the shot clock, hesitates, drives inside, kicks it out for a KJ 3. That's her first miss of the year. UNLV, however, unforced error, knocks the rebound out of bounds, and Baylor now can play for the last shot.
Yeah, I think UNLV had 3 players going for that offensive rebound, and no white jerseys around at all.
The three-point shooting touch of Yu-Ting Dong is called on by Nikki. She brings her off the bench in place of Markayla Johnson. Colvin back in for UNLV. 11 seconds to play first half. Long inbounds to Talia Scott, high on the left sideline. Baylor playing for the last shot. It's Scott with 6, with 5. Around a KJ screen, now stops, hesitates, tries a long 3 that's short as the first half draws to a close. Just a little bit short there from Talia Scott, and Baylor maintains a 3-point edge at halftime, 30-27. Lori, UNLV is scrappy, and it's been a scrappy first half of basketball here in Las Vegas.
It has. And what Baylor had to do was just survive this first half, especially not having bugs for at least a good 15 minutes. You need that senior leadership out there and just a player who can be such an impact player, especially on defense. So Baylor goes in, has an opportunity to rest, regroup a little bit, just get your head back in the game, and let's get ready for the second half here in a little bit. But look forward to talking about Baylor sports across the way. Good things are happening at Betty Lou May Field and Betty Lou Mays Field, and then back home at Foster Pavilion as well.
A lot going on here. We'll tell you more about that. We'll have stats when we return, then scores, and get you ready for the second half. That is straight ahead on the Nissan Halftime Report. Nissan innovation that excites. At intermission, our score, 7th-ranked Baylor 30, UNLV 27 on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Today we have very special guest on our program, introducing Len and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip. Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
The Trucks Game Day sales event is on, and there's no one key to victory. You need strength. You need power. You need agility. You need a team that shows up ready to win. And Toyota Trucks, yeah, they bring the full roster. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for it all. With available bed-mounted power outlets, massive towing capability, and a cabin fit for your crew, Toyota Tundra and Tacoma don't just show up to game day, they dominate it. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. But hurry, these deals won't last forever.
Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Wear green, haul gold in a new Tundra or Tacoma. Built to take you wherever the road leads, on game day and beyond. Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
Listening to live coverage of Baylor women's basketball. Now, it's time for the Nissan Halftime Show. Brought to you by Central National Bank, proud season sponsor of Baylor women's basketball. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Nissan, innovation that excites. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Stay tuned as we break down the first half. Check in on scores and more. All coming up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
halftime in Las Vegas. We welcome you into the Nissan Halftime Report. Nissan, innovation that excites. It's been a tight game throughout. Baylor with a 30-27 lead here at intermission. The score was tied at 13 at the end of one. Baylor put together a 6-0 run to start the second quarter, but UNLV hung tough and remains within 3 of the Bears at halftime at 30-27. Let's take a look at your first half stats here. First team stats. Baylor 12 of 30 from the field. UNLV 12 of 33. That's a 40-36 edge for the Bears. Neither team especially hot from downtown, although Baylor a little better. The Bears 3 of 11 from beyond the arc, 27%. UNLV 1 of 10. Baylor 3 of 4 from the free throw line. UNLV 2 of 2. Baylor has forced one more turnover than UNLV has. Baylor with 8 turnovers. UNLV with 9. And the Bears have outscored them off those turnovers 10-6. UNLV with a 21-17 edge on the boards and a 9-4 edge in second chance points. Baylor's bench in the first half, a 6-2 edge in points scored. UNLV 7 assists on 12 field goals. Baylor with 6 on 12. The Rebels are led by Jasmine Lott. The Frisco, Texas native has 8 points on 3 of 6 shooting. After that, 6 apiece for Meadow Rowland and Shelby Brown. Rowland leads all rebounders in the game with 8. No one else on the team has more points than 5. Baylor has held UNLV's leading scorer, Leah Alexander, to just 5 points on 2 of 9 shooting. Alexander was averaging 18 points a game through the first 2. For the Bears, they are led by Talia Scott, the Big 12 Player of the Week. Another good offensive start for her. 11 points on 4 of 10 shooting, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. After that, Kirsten Johnson, a really nice first half. She had 7 points to go along with 3 rebounds. She also had 4 blocked shots in the first half. Lori, that ties her career high in just one half of basketball. After that, 3 points apiece for Dariana Littlepage-Buggs, who was limited to 5 minutes with foul trouble. 3 for Bella Fauntleroy. 2 for Yuting Dong, Kyla Abraham, and Markayla Johnson. Kira Pipperton played, didn't score in the first half. For the Bears, 4 rebounds, a career high for Markayla Johnson. Baylor blocked 7 first half shots, 4 by KJ, 2 by Abraham, and 1 by Markayla Johnson. It all adds up to a 30-27 halftime lead as we roll on the Nissan Halftime Report. When we come back, Lori will have a look at scores. It's a busy night for Baylor Athletics. Baylor soccer in the NCAA tournament. The Baylor men playing at Foster. And, of course, lots of action throughout women's college basketball, so she'll give you a look at that when we come back. More forthcoming from Las Vegas, where the Bears lead UNLV 30-27 at halftime on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Fox Sports Radio, 93.9 K230 CK, MX HD3 Waco.
Want to be the energy our Bears need? Go gold with Baylor Athletics this season and be the gold factor across each of our sports. Wear exclusive gold apparel from the Baylor Bookstore and the Spirit Shop at upcoming Go Gold dates. Stay up to date on all your golden opportunities to create an electric home atmosphere by visiting BaylorBears.com/Go Gold. Sic 'em Bears.
Hellberg Barbecue is a family-owned business started here in Waco, Texas, and proud to serve the local area. They love to cater all kinds of events, big and small. Serving Baylor and its families is one of their favorite things, and they even ship barbecue nationwide. Check them out while here in Waco or online and support one of Waco's local barbecue restaurants, Hellberg Barbecue. Salt, pepper, and a whole lot of prayer.
Hi, I'm Jim Turner at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. As we celebrate our 10th year anniversary, I want to say thank you to all of our customers. Our dealership is more than a business to me. That's why when you come see us for a reliable new Chevy or award-winning service, we treat you like family. Come see our new collision center, now open to serve you even better for many years to come. Enjoy the game, then come see us at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. Together, let's drive.
Proudly serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage and a trusted neighbor, bridging expert industry knowledge with integrity and kindness. Known for their award-winning agents, Magnolia Realty understands the dynamics of making the real estate journey your own and the importance of trust from contract to close. You can find their local agents here in Waco and across the state, including in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and Temple. To get connected and learn more, visit magnolia.com. Here's to home.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Welcome back to the Pavilion here in Las Vegas, Nevada. You are listening to the Nissan Halftime Show. Nissan, innovation that excites. Baylor leading UNLV at the break. The score, Bears 30 and the Rebels 27 at the half. Talia Scott has 11 points to lead the Bears. Kirsten Johnson has 7 points, and she also has 5 big blocks on the game. Big block party in this game. Kyla Abraham also has a pair of blocks to go along with a basket. Also, let's take a look at scores that are all around the Big 12 Conference and also all around Baylor. Let's go first back to Foster Pavilion in Waco, Texas, where Baylor men's basketball is hosting Tarleton today. At halftime, the Bears lead the Texans 55-42. The Bears' Cameron Carr leads scorers with 17 points for the Bears. Let's take a look at top 25 women's basketball tonight. Number 15, Duke, and West Virginia out of the Big 12 Conference playing in the Greenbrier Invitational. The Mountaineers get the big win over the Blue Devils tonight, 57-49. So the Big 12 continues to rule the ACC right now, at least when it comes to the Duke Blue Devils. Also in top 25 women's college basketball, number 6, Oklahoma defeats North Alabama 89-61. And let's go back home to along the Brazos River to Betty Lou Mays Field, where Baylor Soccer is hosting the first round of the NCAA Women's Tournament. They are taking on Sunbelt champion Texas State, and the score right now, Baylor is shutting out the Bobcats 3-0, excuse me. Goals by Kai Hayes, Hallie Augustin, and Olivia Hess to lead the Bears. And if number 23, Baylor Soccer, ends up winning this game, they will face the winner of 4th-seeded Wisconsin and Western Michigan. That game would be played this coming Thursday, and right now Wisconsin leads 2-1 over Western Michigan. So very possible you could see Baylor and Wisconsin on Thursday night in the second round of the NCAA soccer tournament. So congratulations to Baylor Soccer as they continue to press forward. A little more time left in that game, but leading right now Texas State 3-0 back home in Waco. Again, our score here at the half on the Nissan Halftime Show, it's Baylor 30, UNLV 27. We'll be back with more in just a moment. You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip? Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to Nextlink Internet. With Nextlink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds, up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, Nextlink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give Nextlink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears.
Kids can now join the Baylor Cub Club, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics, presented by Green Eye Associates. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive access, and their own membership package. To register your Cub, please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today.
You've been listening to the Nissan Halftime Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network. Brought to you by TFNB, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Nissan, innovation that excites. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Stay tuned as we get set for the second half action with the Baylor Bears. As we rejoin Derek Smith live from the booth, bringing you the second half of action and more. All coming up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Well, it's a good environment here in Las Vegas tonight, and a back-and-forth game at intermission. The Bears lead UNLV 30-27. These two teams tied in the game last year at halftime before Baylor was able to pull away a bit for a 71-64 win. Something of a similar plot through the first 30 minutes of this game so far. UNLV came out on the floor first. The Bears joined them a couple of minutes later here. And, Lori, let's see if the Bears can get off to a good start here. Honestly, I think they would have got off to a good start in the first quarter had they just knocked down a couple shots. They missed a few uncharacteristic. And you know how it is when you've got a home crowd behind you and when you're the underdog, when you hang around, it tends to put a little wind in your sails.
Yeah, I think Baylor came out just really wanting to play hard and play fast and just could not get some shots to go down. And it snowballed just a little bit, and unfortunately you ended up with Dariana Littlepage Buggs picking up her second foul. So Baylor played 15 minutes without their senior leader. And we want to see Buggs back out there and see how Baylor can really handle those changing defenses. That's what we saw a lot of. Baylor would really attack that man-to-man defense, but once the zone got there, it packed in a little bit more, and Baylor was able to attack the zone a little bit themselves. But there's a lot for Baylor to get right here in this second half. So looking forward to the next 20 minutes.
Well, let's see if Dariana Littlepage Buggs can, just really kind of assert herself. She's just 4 of 16 from the floor to start the year, and certainly she is better than that.
Well, I just wonder if she just thinking so much. She's just a dynamic player, and you just misfire just a little bit. She's so good with that fall-away jumper along the baseline. I love that shot from her, and if she can get on a roll, that just opens up for everyone. Just like when Talia Scott gets on a roll, a lot opens up for Baylor, and they can take a deep breath. And I think you've got your starting five back, getting ready to go. And Buggs is chomping at the bit to get back out there.
Lori, got to give a shout-out to this crowd here. The UNLV fans really responded. They've about filled out this small but intimate arena here, and, they chose to come here instead of, just a couple miles over to the Strip. They no Wayne Newton, no Rat Pack, no Danny Gans, Siegfried and Roy. They're all here tonight to see women's basketball, and they've seen a good one so far.
And that's what this is all about. Women's basketball is exciting, and this is a great matchup. And it was a great matchup last year in Waco, and that UNLV again circled this game on the calendar, and Baylor's got to prove again where they belong and get a win here on the road tough atmosphere to play. See if you could pull one out.
UNLV will have the ball to start the second half. Original starters on the floor for both teams. Offensively for the Rebels, Rowland, Alexander, Lott, Brown, and Colvin for the Bears. Defensively, it is Van Geitenbeek, Scott, Fauntleroy, Buggs, and KJ. Well, just about ready to go. Second half ready to begin here in Las Vegas. Again, in that first half, we saw 3 ties, 7 lead changes. Let's see if the Bears can maintain this one here where it is right now and leave those stats where they are. Neither team shot especially well in the first half. Let's see what that looks like here as we begin the second as UNLV plays it into Alexander. Alexander hooks it ahead to Shelby Brown, right elbow, guarded by Fauntleroy. Kick out left side. Here's a look at a 3 by Alexander, too strong. Rebound is picked up off the floor by Fauntleroy. Looked like the Bears were maybe a bit passive there, but they were able to get the rebound. And now Van Geitenbeek has it across midcourt. Baylor with the ball on a 3-point edge. First possession of the second half. It's Van Geitenbeek slinging it down low to a driving Buggs, who really just sort of double clutched and then banked it way too hard to miss the good look at the shot. Here is Tolvin at the other end, looking for a teammate, no one there. Feeds it to Rowland. The Baylor lead remains 3. Rowland wants to drive, kicks it in the corner to Alexander. Up top to Brown, 15 on the shot clock. Brown wants to drive inside and bangs into Fauntleroy. That's an offensive foul. She hit the lay-in, but banged into Bella Fauntleroy and knocked her out of the way to do so.
Well, you
and that's
get
a third on Brown.
Yeah, you get a little baited into doing that against Bella Fauntleroy. She makes you think that she's just backing up on you and you're going to get close to the basket, and then sets her feet and so good at taking the contact moving backwards.
That is 3 fouls on Shelby Brown. She's been a nice player for them here in the first half, and she will exit for Destiny Brown. They're going to clean up the floor a little bit here at the Pavilion. And Buggs will play it in. 30-27, Baylor with the ball and the lead. They play it into Van Geitenbeek, accelerates across midcourt, Colvin guarding her. Janet to the right side of the floor with the left-hand dribble. Here comes Scott to take the feed, middle of the floor, finds Fauntleroy. Catch and shoot jumper no good from the left elbow, and the rebound is grabbed by Destiny Brown. Gives it ahead to Colvin. Neither team has scored here in the second half of action, a little over a minute in. Here is Rowland up top to Brown. Brown swings the elbows, trying to find Lott in the paint. Turnaround jumper spins out. Rebound grabbed by Dariana Littlepage Buggs. That is Buggs' 4th rebound.
Yeah, that she's been great on the boards.
Here's Jana with a hesitation. She circles in the paint beneath the basket. And now the ball touched by Alexander. That helps the Bears. Jana kicks it out to Scott for a rainbow 3.
Boy, and Jana just kept her eyes on that basketball, close to a travel, did not travel, but was able to get that basketball to a perfectly placed Talia Scott, who just drained a 3.
That doubles Baylor's lead to 6. UNLV with possession. It's Rowland kicking it out to Colvin. Awkward looking 3 is off the back iron, no, and there's another board, number 5 for Buggs. She feeds it ahead to Jana Van Geitenbeek, and here come the Bears now looking for their biggest lead of the evening. Free throw line, it's Buggs. She fires the shot, bang!
Boy, is that needed there. You know, they laid off of Buggs and said, go ahead, shoot that elbow jumper. Buggs, I'm glad she took that shot, nailed it. And she's got 3 points to go along with her 5 rebounds.
It's a 5-0 Baylor run to start the second half. 2.5 minutes gone, third quarter. Jana with the steal. She cut inside and got a hand on the pass intended for Lott. Now she waits for numbers, asks for Scott to come get the ball. She does. Scott has it on the left baseline. Now she turns, spins, hesitates, kicks it in the corner. Johnson up top to Van Geitenbeek. Van Geitenbeek dribbles to the top of the three-point arc. Right-hand dribble, bounces at the free throw line to Buggs. They laid off for a moment ago. She puts it on the floor, bangs inside, tries a little follow-away, can't hit. Fight for the rebound. It's loose on the floor. KJ and Brown. A jump ball is called. It's going to remain Baylor basketball with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Well done from KJ, not giving up on that rebound, getting her hands on the ball and being able to force that jump ball with Baylor with the possession arrow. So another opportunity with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Inbound to KJ. She nearly throws it away, and it was tipped. It was tipped, so Baylor will keep it with 13 seconds to shoot. Here's a Bella Fauntleroy 3. No, a little too strong. Rebound is grabbed by Brown. She gives it ahead to Colvin. Baylor up 35-27. UNLV with the basketball. Driving layup is good, and a foul. Colvin just put her head down and raced inside, flung it up there, got the bounce, and drew the foul. That's her first scoring, and she's going to have a chance at a three-point play. See who that foul was on for the Bears. It's Talia Scott, her second, and the first on the Bears. Colvin at the line, 0 of 1 on the year, and now 0 of 2 as she's too strong. Another rebound by Dariana Little-Page Bugs. The Baylor lead is 6, 35-29. Jana Van Geitenbeek surveys the scene. They're going to swing it now left side to Fauntleroy. Up top, nearly threw it away, but Jana chases it down, drives inside, and then can't hit the right-hand runner. And there's Brown with a rebound. Well, Baylor will look good offensively a few possessions and then discombobulated a few possessions. Here's a bounce down low to Brown. Forces up a shot and draws the foul on Bella Fauntleroy on the right block. Free throws are coming for Destiny Brown. Bella hit with her second. That's the team's second, and it's going to send Brown to the line. UNLV is 2 of 3 from the stripe tonight, and Brown 0 of 1 on the year.
You know, if we are in Las Vegas, so if you did have a hand and you're playing a certain card game, you would be really doing well right now with Baylor with 4 players with 2 fouls each.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was trying to get to. That wasn't the best example, but
I trust
they
you.
have 4 of a
Yes.
kind
Oh,
is what
okay.
I'm
4
trying
of a
to
kind.
say. And, you know, not in terrible foul trouble, but just something that Baylor's got to continue to watch.
Brown misses both free throws. The rebound pinballed around, and Bella Fauntleroy grabs it. I know that song 3 of a Kind, Working on a Full House. I've heard it that way. Is that kind of what? Here's
All right.
Talia Scott feeding it ahead to Dariana Little-Page Bugs. Baylor up 35-29. Here's KJ, top of the arc. Flinging it left side to Van Geitenbeek. She looks at the basket, drives to the right block, kicks it outside to Bugs, who traveled to start the drive. Well, 35-29. Baylor had a chance a few moments ago to open up what would have been the game's first double-digit lead, but missed a shot. Now UNLV's hit a couple as well. Baylor
Boy, you
by
know
6.
that Bugs saw that lane, but she's just so athletic and so quick. Just about a half step ahead.
It is Colvin across midcourt, an Idaho native. Dribbles into the right corner. Now flings it up top. Oh, KJ with her back to the player just grabbed the pass in her left hand and kept hold of it. That's a Baylor turnover. That was like a behind-the-back interception. Here's Scott giving it to Bugs. Now right side to Van Geitenbeek. She puts it on the floor, bounces down low to Bugs, who can't quite get the bounce pass. It's stolen out of there by Rowland. Rowland ahead to Alexander, back to Colvin, open 3 in transition, good.
Boy, when you've taken the crowd completely out of it, Baylor just not able to extend the lead several possessions.
And that cut the Baylor lead in half, 35-32. And now now Baylor turns it over. UNLV got a hand on it, and it was out of bounds there on the sideline. And this crowd is right back into it. 35-32, Baylor with the lead, UNLV with the basketball, 5:06 to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Baylor hasn't scored in the last 2 minutes and 44 seconds, and they've had 3 turnovers during that time. And again, with UNLV missing those 3 free throws, they had an opportunity just to snowball the lead.
Here's Elohim with the basketball. She feeds it on the left side to Rowland. Rowland wants to drive inside, gets to the basket. She's stripped. Oh, but a foul is called on Bella Fauntleroy, and that's her third. So she's picked up 2 fouls here in quick succession here in this third quarter, and we'll see what Coach Nikki opts to do. It looks like it'll be Kyle Abraham checking in following our third quarter media timeout. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank different, Bank Central, Central National Bank. Baylor by 3, but UNLV with some momentum here. 35-32 Bears, 4:52 to play in the third here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you Ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems too good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Proudly serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage and a trusted neighbor, bridging expert industry knowledge with integrity and kindness. Known for their award-winning agents, Magnolia Realty understands the dynamics of making the real estate journey your own and the importance of trust from contract to close. You can find their local agents here in Waco and across the state, including in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and Temple. To get connected and learn more, visit magnoliarealty.com. Here's to home.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor Bears leading the UNLV Rebels 35-32. 4:52 left to go here in the third quarter at the Pavilion on the campus of UNLV in Las Vegas, Nevada. Derek Smith and Lori Fogelman with you, and congratulations to Michelle Leonard and Baylor Soccer hosting the first round of the NCAA Women's Tournament, and they have knocked off Texas State Bobcats in fine form tonight, shutting them out 3-0. Great way to close out the season at home at Betty Lou Mays Field, and it will be Baylor and Wisconsin next Thursday in the second round of the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament. They'll play that game again Thursday in South Bend, Indiana. So congratulations to our Baylor Soccer Bears.
Yeah.
Proud of that team, and
what a year!
What gumption!
And it's not over.
No, and it was great to see them get back on the offensive side of things and score 3 big goals and do that in front of the home fans. And hopefully they'll be able to make some noise in South Bend Thursday against Wisconsin.
That's now 11 shutouts for the team in 21 games this year, so over half their games. That's impressive.
They are, and they, if you watch them play, I love to watch soccer from all over the world. I know it's called football in other places. I understand that, but they've got some powerful legs out there and wonderful on set pieces, and I've just loved being able to watch them this season, and so proud that they're able to advance in the NCAA tournament. Hold that home floor and move on. Or home floor.
I know what you mean.
Hold that home field. And
Baylor is up 35-32 here with 4:52 to play in the third quarter, but UNLV's at the free throw line, and Meadow Rowland drains the first. It is perfect. UNLV is on a 6-0 run now over the last minute 54 to cut what was an 8-point Baylor lead down to 2 and perhaps to 1 if Rowland can hit another one. Rowland has 7 points on 3 of 9 shooting. Second free throw is up, and that also is good, and it is a 1-point game. So Baylor scored the first 5 points of the third quarter. Then UNLV has scored the last 7. Talia Scott driving full head of steam. A little bit too far beneath the basket. Laid it off the bottom of the rim there, and the rebound is grabbed by Alexander, who outlets it ahead to Elohim. She measures a 3. That's blocked by Markayla Johnson. They grab the loose ball, though, and kick it back out to Alexander with the shot clock at 15. That's 8 blocks now for the Bears. Markayla Johnson has 2 of them. Lot on the drive, top of the key. Up top to Brown. Puts it on the floor. Destiny Brown looks for a cutting Elohim. Instead finds up top. It's Rowland with 3 to shoot. She drives inside and lays it in to give UNLV the lead back. Well, she's a veteran player, and she calmly took it to the basket and laid it in. UNLV back on top, 36-35. 4:06 to play in the third quarter. Here's Kyla Abraham slinging it over to Dariana Littlepage Buggs. Buggs with a left-hand dribble, guarded by Alexander. Now left side to Markayla Johnson. She's got to measure a long 3. It's too strong, and the rebound is grabbed by Rowland. Don't know that's the shot they were looking for, a step-back 3 from the left wing. Here is Lott, left corner, up top to Rowland. Rowland and Alexander, their 2 leading scorers on the year. She wants to drive in a crowd, leans in, has it blocked by KJ. That's a career-high 5 block shots for Kirsten Johnson. Baylor down by 1, 3.5 to play in the third quarter. Here's Talia Scott clearing some room and missing the mid-range jumper from the left wing. Rebound grabbed by Alexander. I think we've seen a couple shots from Baylor that aren't what you're looking for.
Yeah, and nobody underneath the basket to be able to contest for a rebound.
Alexander has it for the Lady Rebels. Right-hand dribble, finds Rowland on the left baseline, drives inside, another block shot, but this time a foul called on KJ. And that will be Kirsten Johnson's first. That's the fourth on the Bears, and the UNLV is on a 9-0 run. They can extend it here at the free throw line as Meadow Rowland right back there where she was 2 for 2 a moment ago. UNLV is up by 1, 36-35. Rowland, an 85% free throw shooter on the year, as the three-point shooting Leo prepares to check back in. Rowland hits the first. Baylor has gone 4 minutes and 43 seconds without a point. Their last bucket came at the 8-minute mark. So they scored 5 points in the first 2 minutes of the quarter, and then nothing since. Both free throws good by Rowland, and the UNLV lead is 3, 38-35.
And they go to that 2-2-1 zone after a made free throw, and Baylor breaks it as Talia Scott brings the ball up.
3 minutes to play in the third. Scott ahead left side to Buggs. Back to Scott around an Abraham screen at the free throw line. Needs to find a teammate. Having trouble. Unloads it outside to Markayla Johnson. Drives to the free throw line and hits an awkward looking jumper from there. Floated the free throw line and hit there. Markayla Johnson with 4 points. And the Baylor deficit is now just 1. UNLV with the basketball. They had some trouble finding the player to get it into as everyone ran into the front court. Now they give it off to Lott, who buries a 3 from the right corner. And that's a 4-point UNLV lead. And that matches their biggest of the game at 41-37. 2:20 to play here in the third. Markayla Johnson on the right wing. Looking for Scott to get it back, finds her, hits Abraham at the free throw line, tries to lob it down low to Johnston in the crowd. She's stripped of the basketball. That's a Baylor turnover in transition. Elohim, a turnaround 3, and that explodes this crowd here. That was a pretty play by UNLV. They stole the ball, fired ahead to Elohim with her back to the basket, and she calmly turned and drained the 3 in transition. Baylor's lead, which was 8 moments ago, is now a 7-point deficit as UNLV is on a 17-2 run.
You know, I think that zone defense just discombobulated Baylor a little bit, and they just and I tell you what, it also hurts not having somebody like Bella Fauntleroy out there. The foul trouble is just has gotten Baylor where they can't keep their playmakers all together. But gosh, you got to give UNLV credit. They have been able to get in open space, find the shooters, and knock down big threes back to back.
The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank different. Bank Central, Central National Bank. Coach Nicky calls a timeout. It's our first third quarter media timeout. We'll take it as well. Bears down by a game-high 7 points, 44-37, 2:03 to play third quarter on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip. Works.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
17-2 run to open up a 7-point lead on the Bears at 44-37. It was 35-27 Baylor, and then in seemingly the blink of an eye, UNLV has put together a 17-2 run, and they've had a couple of big plays in there that really got this crowd going, most notably that Elohim 3 that in transition that prompted the timeout from Coach Nicky. But Lori, Baylor's shot selection has not been great, and really decision-making in general. They've driven it into a crowd a few times, got too far beneath the basket, and really played into UNLV's hands.
You know, they had those opportunities again when they jumped out to that 35 to 27 lead. You know, they did give up a basket, but then 3 missed free throws in a row, and it seemed like Baylor would come down, have a chance to extend the lead, and just not be able to capitalize on any of those. And then the next thing you know, Elohim hits that big 3. The crowd gets into it. Roland is great from the free throw line. Lott hits a 3, and then Elohim just once again puts another exclamation point. It gets this crowd just frothing at the mouth in here with another 3 to extend the lead.
Out of the timeout, Baylor will play with Scott, Buggs, Dong, Abraham, and Markayla Johnson. Baylor down by 7. Here is Dong on the left side, puts it on the floor, up top to Abraham, looking for Markayla Johnson right side. Markayla finds Bug, high left side, now back to Dong. Shot clock at 13, Dong on the drive, in a crowd, leans inside and flips it in with the right hand.
I'm glad she turned that down earlier, and that time Dong decided, all right, they're going to clear space for me right up the middle of the gut, and I'm going to go in and score.
Here is Leah with the basketball for UNLV. The Rebel lead is 5, 44-39, 90 seconds to play, third quarter. Here is Jasmine Lott, who's had a good game for them, 11 points. She wants to drive on Dong, gets inside, hangs left of the lane, and got the bounce. 7-point lead again. Tell you what, she can kind of take some shots that aren't everyone's best shot and hit them. Here is Buggs on the drive, gets inside. She answers quickly with the left hand. 7.6 rebounds for Buggs.
Well, now it's important for Baylor to come down and get a stop. That's just not what they're able to do right now.
Here is UNLV with possession. Their lead is 5. It is Brown, Dong guarding her. She slings it in the corner to Lott. She wanted a 3 now. She'll measure a 3 with Buggs right in her face and hits it. It's an 8-point UNLV lead, now their biggest of the night. Here is Scott with 35 seconds to play in the third, driving inside, hitting Abraham for a jumper from the left elbow. No. Offensive rebound, Buggs right back up with it and got the roll. Buggs with 9 points, 8 rebounds. The lead is 6 for UNLV. The Lady Rebels can play for the last shot with under 20 seconds to play here in the third. It has been a great third quarter for them. They've outscored the Bears by 9. Scott nearly steals the basketball. Now they nearly turn it over and somehow manage to save it in the half court. It is Leo with 5, with 4, with 3. Good defense by the Bears. Don't hit a prayer here. She flings up an air ball.
I was right there with you.
As the third quarter draws to a close.
Boy, give Talia Scott some credit there for just not giving up on that play. I thought for sure she would go into a screen and try to bust around to the left side, but in that case just flung up a prayer, but it did not hit anything, thank goodness. And Baylor manages to keep this UNLV lead manageable at 49-43.
UNLV outscores the Bears by 9 in the third quarter. Hey, Bears fans, this basketball season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for basketball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like, proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Fourth quarter, straight ahead from Las Vegas. Bears have their work cut out for them, down 6 on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
See for yourself why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green, along with her dedicated optometrists and staff. Receive trustworthy insights about your eye health, enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes, face, and neck areas with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Visit greeneyeassociates.com. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
Game day experiences for the 2025 football season are on sale now. Fans can purchase exclusive experiences online, including on-field photos, sideline access during warm-ups, tunnel access during the team runout, an in-game radio booth experience with the voice of the Bears, a birthday bash, and much more. There is limited availability per game, so purchase your experience today at BaylorBears.com/group experiences to lock in your one-of-a-kind game day experience today.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Leads 7th-ranked Baylor as we head to the fourth quarter, 49-43. Boy, it looked at the beginning of the third like Baylor was about to, if not take control of the game, put some distance between themselves and the Lady Rebels. Baylor had opened up an 8-point lead, but UNLV put together a 17-2 run, and by the time the Bears kind of found their footing again, UNLV had a couple of possession lead. That's where it is now, 49-43. Lori, let's see if the Bears can demonstrate a little bit better shot selection and just, kind of on the floor thinking in general. Too many turnovers. Baylor has turned it over 12 times. They've allowed UNLV 11 second chance points, and that has helped fuel what they do, which right now has a 6-point lead, 49-43 on the Bears.
Yeah, and 4 of their 5 3-pointers came in that third quarter, and those were just electric threes that just seemed to come in bunches and got the crowd really into it. So now you've got Talia Scott, Dariana Littlepage Buggs, Bella Fauntleroy, Yuting Dong, and Kyla Abraham out on the floor for Baylor.
You know, Buggs only played 5 minutes in the first half due to foul trouble, and things got better from there. She had 7 third-quarter points. Let's see if she can really step up here. Bella Fauntleroy giving some words of encouragement and instruction to Yuting Dong, who's out on the floor to start this fourth quarter. UNLV will begin with the basketball. It'll be Brown to play it in with Elohim, Alexander, Rowland, and Lott. Baylor counters defensively with Dong, Fauntleroy, Buggs, Abraham, and Scott. Here we go. Start of the fourth quarter. UNLV with the ball in a 6-point lead. It's Lott on the right side. She switches hands over left to right. Now angles across the floor. Sends it outside beyond the arc. That is Alexander. Alexander around a screen, looks to penetrate, now stops, pops, and cans the 18-foot jumper.
Boy, that is with Kyla Abraham doing the switch and having a hand in her face. What a shot.
8-point UNLV lead once again. Here's Talia Scott with the basketball behind the screen. She likes this spot, but her three's a bit off the mark. Long rebound to Alexander. Alexander outlets it ahead to Elohim. Bounces down low, left block to Brown. Wants to drive on Fauntleroy, turns, spins, and misses the point-blank jumper, but that was good defense there by Bella Fauntleroy.
Boy, she was so deep underneath there, and it's really hard not to get your body into her, but Bella showed great defensive discipline that time.
Minute gone, fourth quarter. Baylor trying to play comeback, down by 8. Abraham gives it off to Yuting Dong, puts it on the floor to the free throw line, has it stripped from behind, it's stolen away by Brown. She was unaware that Brown was right behind her. Brown driving into the front court, full head of steam to the basket, leaves the runner short. Offensive rebound though by UNLV. They kick it outside to Elohim, now to Abraham, head fake and a drive inside, and she misses everything from the left block. Abraham grabs the rebound and calms things down. Baylor is down by 8, 51-43 with 8.5 to go. Abraham takes the feed. Looks like some confusion out there at times on offense. Lori, here is Bella Fauntleroy giving it off to Buggs. Buggs calls for Dong to come and get the basketball. She does. Drives inside, hangs at the left elbow, and knocks down the mid-range jumper.
Well,
Pretty shot from Dong.
6 points for Dong today in this game, and for her to confidently take that shot. Each one of those, I think that came off of Buggs.
Yeah.
For an assist, and Buggs making sure that she goes and attacks the rim.
Dong had just 2 points in her first 2 games as a Bear, but 6 tonight. The UNLV lead is 6. They've got the basketball. It's Alexander outside on the drive. Gets inside, gets a step on Buggs, but misses the right-hand runner. Buggs claims the rebound, her 8th. Baylor off and running into the front court. Here's Scott with the hesitation, dribbles it off her foot. Buggs hustles to the basketball. And let's see, we've got a whistle and a player is hurt for UNLV. That, we'll see who that is. And boy, you hate to see that. Just a hustle for the basketball there and an injured player for UNLV there as Buggs and her went chasing after the loose ball. Scott dribbled it off of her foot and it caromed backwards, and both Buggs and this player, we'll make sure we know exactly who it is, and that is Jasmine Lott, who's
That's
down
what
on
I
the
thought.
floor.
Who had hurt her knee last year, and an opportunity to come back and play, and what a game she's had.
Well, you hope that she is okay. You heard a groan from the crowd. They know what she went through last year, and she's taking her time, and obviously that's what you want to do. The coaches, Lindy LaRock and trainer, are helping her. She's seated upright.
16 points in this game, and 16 points in 26 minutes.
Boy, yeah, you hope she's all right. A Frisco, Texas native, Jasmine Lott, and they're taking their time. I think Coach LaRocque is offering her a little bit of encouragement as they get ready to help her off the floor. And, boy, that's a tough thing. And, you never know. Sometimes you see these things and they look bad, and it's not as bad as you think. They're helping her to her foot, and she's really not putting any weight. Well, she's been able to put a little bit of weight, and you hope that she's okay. That was an awkward slide, and you just never know how that's going to go. And right now she's able to put a little weight on her own power, so that's a good thing. Well, I'm
sure it was scary, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other thing. You hit the ground like that, and two bodies, and awkwardly, and we certainly hope she's okay.
Well, we know this with Jana Van Geitenbeek, right? There's the physical side of healing, but then there's also that mental side, just coming back and playing, and good to see her walk off under her own power.
Yeah, and here's an opportunity for Baylor, because they have the possession arrow in there, or were able to call that timeout. They still have the possession arrow, but to score on consecutive baskets, and they do, because once again you get the ball in the sweet spot, and Yu Ting Dong now
she likes that shot.
She does, and she scored consecutive baskets herself. She has 8.
The native of China, the transfer from Auburn, a career high for the Bears. Here's a driving reverse layup missed by Alexander. Now the rebound grabbed by Dariana Littlepage-Buggs, and Baylor could cut the lead to 2 or down to 1 with a 3. 7:09 to play third quarter. Scott thought about a 3, thought better, gives it off to Buggs. They kick it left side to Bella Fauntleroy, faked a 3, drove inside and left the runners short. Rebound fought for out of bounds to Baylor. Baylor may have got away with a little bit of a foul there, and the crowd is voicing their displeasure. Here's a look at the replay. Bella missed the runner. There was a fight for the rebound. Actually, on the replay, it didn't look as bad.
Yeah, I think she just stuck her arm out.
Yeah. Talia Scott to play it in. Hits Abraham on a timing pattern at the top of the arc. Now Abraham fires to a cutting Fauntleroy, who misses the layup. Oh, man, great play design, just couldn't finish. 2 shots
at the basket, and Baylor missed them both.
Bella Fauntleroy tonight has 3 points on just 1 of 7 shooting after 26 points on Sunday. 6:42 to play in the ball game. UNLV with the ball on a 4-point edge, 51-47. Here's Colvin circling into the lane, gets inside and throws it off the bottom of the backboard. Good defense there by Talia Scott.
Another chance for Baylor to try to get into this the 4-point lead, to cut into it.
Here is Scott floating it up top to Buggs, right side to Bella. Bella around the screen, looks for a teammate, having some trouble, floats it outside to Scott. 13 seconds on the Baylor shot clock. Scott steps into a 3 and calmly knocks it down to cut the UNLV lead to 1. 17 points for Talia Scott. UNLV with the ball at a 1-point edge. It was 8 just a moment ago. Baylor's on a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Under 6 minutes to play in the ball game. Here is Elohim hitting Roland. Roland for 3. She was open but missed. Offensive rebound, though, by Colvin. She cut in front of the free throw line. Gets it back. She fires a 3. It's no good. Rebound batted by Abraham to Dariana Littlepage-Buggs. Buggs now with double-digit rebounds, 9 points, 10 boards. The Bears can take the lead here with a bucket. It's Scott on the right side. Floats it to Buggs at the top of the arc. Now left side to Yu Ting Dong. Puts it on the floor. Drives to the free throw line. Kicks it out to Abraham. Now to Fauntleroy right side. And there's a foul on Alexander. The body there by Alexander. Just her first foul and the second on UNLV here in the fourth quarter. They're letting them play here in the fourth quarter here. Baylor has not been called for a foul. UNLV just 2. Bears are down by 1 with 5:19 to play. UNLV has been scrappy tonight, and every time the Bears have put a run together, UNLV has as well. Here's the inbound from Fauntleroy to Talia Scott. Game's leading scorer with 17 points. Dong's had a nice game. She takes the feed. Now they find Buggs at the free throw line. Kicks it back out against that zone defense. Talia forces a 3 and can't hit. Rebound is batted back out to Colvin. Here comes UNLV the other way. Step back 3. Alexander misses, and a long rebound caroms out to Buggs. The Bears will take her taking that shot there. She forced it. Now here is Talia Scott driving inside, stripped to the basketball. UNLV has shown fast hands tonight, and they have several steals on the Bears like that. Here's a wild shot by Shelby Brown that misses.
Boy, Buggs was there, though, to contest that, and I think ended up helping the UNLV player just misfire on that. So Baylor has another chance to try to take the lead here.
UNLV 51, Baylor 50, 4.5 minutes to play. Here is Talia Scott around an Abraham screen. Left side of the floor, leans inside and flips it in with the right hand. She circled around the lane and gives Baylor the lead back. 19 points for Talia Scott. Here's Colvin racing into the front court. Sends it into the left corner for Alexander. Now UNLV with the ball down by 1. It is Rowland outside to Elohim. Dong guarding her. 15 seconds to shoot. Now a switch off. Dong is on the taller Rowland. Rowland wants to drive on her, and Dong is called for the foul. Probably not the worst thing in the world. And Dong is called for the foul. That's her first, and that's the first on the Bears here in the fourth quarter. The Bears are on a 9-0 run over the last 4 minutes and 14 seconds to claim their first lead of the fourth quarter. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texans in Waco. Temple and Austin, bank different, bank Central, Central National Bank. Baylor 52, UNLV 51, 4:03 to play, fourth quarter in Las Vegas on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
The Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event is on, and there's no one key to victory. You need strength. You need power. You need agility. You need a team that shows up ready to win. And Toyota Trucks, yeah, they bring the full roster. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for it all. With available bed-mounted power outlets, massive towing capability, and a cabin fit for your crew, Toyota Tundra and Tacoma don't just show up to game day, they dominate it. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. But hurry, these deals won't last forever.
Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Wear green, haul gold in a new Tundra or Tacoma. Built to take you wherever the road leads, on game day and beyond. Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor 52, UNLV 51. That's the score. Fourth quarter, just 4:01 to play here in Las Vegas. The Bears, though, on a 9-0 run, and that lay-in by Talia Scott moments ago gave this game its 9th lead change after 9 total lead changes, 3 ties. That's the kind of game it's been, and Lori, feels like a dogfight. The Bears did the dogfight for the last 4 minutes. Baylor did a good job, though, after UNLV had several chances to open up a double-digit lead, or at least had a couple chances to open up a double-digit lead, several chances to extend it. Baylor has sort of wrestled control back, but what we've seen over the first 36 minutes of this game is that these runs never last long. Hopefully Baylor can change that.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that Baylor managed to score last at the end of the third quarter, because that they kept that lead manageable. They started to trade baskets instead of letting UNLV just stack baskets and stack those threes that were just getting the crowd really behind them and feeling that momentum changing. But but Baylor has remained calm. Thank goodness. It's like everybody just try to use as much of that shot clock as you can. Sometimes they would have 12 seconds left and look like they were doing a fire drill scramble, and decided then just to take it easy, find the best shot. And right now, one of the best shots are being taken from U-Team Dong.
Yeah. Jasmine Lott back out on the floor. The player who went down awkwardly is back out there. That's good to see. Lori, it's interesting. UNLV is shooting under 18% from three-point land on the year so far, but they went 4 of 8 in that third quarter. But that means in the other 10 quarters they've played, it's been far worse than that. They play it in, though. They have the ball and a chance to reclaim the lead out of the timeout. They give it off to Lott, drives inside and misses the runner. Offensive rebound by Brown, puts it back up and can't get the roll. Fauntleroy grabs the rebound and swallows it up to make sure that no one can take it away. A couple of good looks for UNLV, but good defense by the Bears there just to contest them enough to get them to fall off the rim. Baylor with the ball and a 1-point lead. It's Bella giving it ahead to KJ. KJ gives it right back to Bella, who drives inside and misses another layup. Offensive rebound, though. KJ, her turnaround putback attempt is missed. Then UNLV nearly fumbles the rebound out of bounds, but Rowland chases it back down. Boy both teams had some good looks.
Those high percentage shots, just missing them. I think KJ may have just rushed that one a little bit too much. You could have just reset.
3:15 to play. UNLV with the ball and a chance to reclaim the lead on the Bears. It's Alexander bouncing it down low, right baseline to Rowland. Wants to back inside on KJ. Misfires too strong and then went over the back on KJ. No whistle to chase down the offensive rebound. We're under 3 minutes to play. It's a 1-point Baylor lead. Alexander has it, middle of the floor, wants to drive, right side, switch off on KJ. KJ gets off her feet, and now the ball is stolen. Talia Scott cuts in front of the cross-court pass and takes it all the way for the layup. Talia Scott has scored the last 2 buckets for the Bears to push the lead to 3. We're just over 150 seconds to play here in Las Vegas. It's a 3-point Baylor edge. Elohim has it for UNLV. Scott guarding her. She floats it to Lott. Lott, middle of the floor, around a rolling screen, up top to Brown. Brown puts it on the floor with 10 to shoot, drives left of the lane, fires up top to Lott. She leans inside, pops a mid-range jumper and knocks it down. And UNLV calls a timeout. That cuts the Baylor lead to 1. Tell you what, she's hit some tough mid-range shots tonight, and Baylor had that reasonably well guarded, but she just leaned back and floated it in.
Well, she's the leading scorer today in this, for UNLV with 18 points, but she is getting the ball. She's determined, especially after coming back from injury. Not talking about tonight, but coming back after an injury from last season and playing her 3rd game back and just really taking over for the Rebels.
That snaps a string of 13 consecutive shots missed by UNLV. It's a 1-point Baylor lead. The timeout called by UNLV. They're setting things up defensively. So here is what we have right now. As we head into the final 2 minutes and 13 seconds, Baylor has the ball and a 1-point lead. Baylor has 3 timeouts remaining. UNLV has 3 timeouts remaining. Foul's not a problem for either team right now. UNLV's been called for 2. Baylor with 1. And the possession arrow favors Baylor. Out of the timeout, it is Scott, Buggs, Markayla Johnson, Kirsten Johnson, and Bella Fauntleroy for the Bears. Here's Talia Scott. Accelerates to the 3-point arc. Fires outside to Buggs. Buggs on the floor, around to Johnson drive. Nice collaboration there, and she slips it over the screen there for 2 for KJ.
And KJ finishes at the rim on another assist from Buggs, but so well executed. Now Baylor needs the same execution on the defensive side of the ball.
Baylor by 3. We're down to 1:40 to play. Rowland puts it on the floor, right side of the lane, backs inside, spins in the lane, misses the shot, but draws a touch foul. That's on Dariana Littlepage Buggs, just her 3rd, 2nd on the Bears, but it's going to send Rowland to the free throw line, where she's been excellent tonight, 4 of 4. She's got a double-double, 12 points and 11 rebounds. Dariana Littlepage Buggs a point away from a double-double, but Rowland has not missed from the line tonight. If she hits them both, she could cut the Baylor lead to 1, but she's too strong on the first. Rowland, the Mountain West Player of the Week, averaging a double-double on this season with another one tonight. She's got 1 more free throw coming. Baylor by 3 and now by 2 as she rolls in the second. 1:36 to play. UNLV pressuring in the backcourt now as the Bears will break it ahead to Talia Scott across midcourt. Under 90 seconds to play. Baylor with the ball and a 2-point lead. Talia Scott slings it left side to Fauntleroy. Finds Buggs at the free throw line, who hits a cutting KJ, who misses the layup. Rebound batted back to Buggs. Now as she looks for a teammate, she's stripped to the basketball. UNLV ties it up. Possession arrow favoring Baylor. Nothing coming easy tonight. Baylor's had some great plays drawn up where they just haven't finished. And we saw another one there.
Yeah, again, high percentage shots, and you just got to get those a little bit higher off the glass. Baylor just shorted a couple of those, but
1:15 to play, 9 seconds to shoot. The officials talking. Coach Nikki wants the shot clock reset, and she may have a point there. They're talking this through, and I guess they're leaving it at 9. Now they're pointing again. I don't think they realized what Baylor wanted. Baylor arguing from the bench to no avail. Long inbound into Markayla Johnson. 8 on the shot clock. She gives it off to Talia Scott. Baylor by 2. 4 to shoot. 3 to shoot. Bella pulls up for a mid-range jumper, and she's fouled with 1 second on the shot clock.
My goodness. I'm not sure who was over in the corner. I'm like, Bella, somebody's in the corner, but may not have been the best person to get the ball to with the shot clock winding down.
2 free throws coming for Bella Fauntleroy with 1:07 to go. Baylor is up by 2. If she hits one, it's a 3-point game. If she hits them both, it's a 2-possession game. Once again, boy, Coach Nikki really arguing over there with the officials. I think the shot clock should have been reset on that Kirsten Johnson miss, but they didn't do it.
Boy, because she clearly hit the rim.
First free throw by Bella is good. She's got one more coming. Bella 5 of 5 on the season. One more coming, need it with 1:07 to go. That foul, by the way, was on Shelby Brown. It's her 4th. One more coming from Bella. It's good. She hit them both, and it's a 2-possession game. 1:07 to play. Here comes UNLV into the front court. Lott hands it off to Elohim. Markayla Johnson, the freshman, on the floor in crunch time guarding her. Elohim finds Rowland on the right side of the floor. She dribbles into the paint, tries a spinner in the lane, leaves it short. Rebound grab by Bella Fauntleroy. Boy, she got right to the rim and just couldn't quite push it over the front. Baylor with the basketball, a 2-possession lead. 43 seconds to play, 22 seconds between the shot clock and game clock. Here is Talia Scott at midcourt. A shot here makes things very difficult for UNLV. Let's say a made bucket does. 10 to shoot. Here's Scott on the drive. She tried to find Johnson down low. Then UNLV stole it. Then Baylor stole it back. And a timeout is called by the Bear. No, we'll see. There may have been a foul on the floor. A foul is called. A foul called on Dariana Littlepage Buggs with players all over the place going after the loose ball, and Buggs is called for a foul. Coach Nikki arguing as Kyla Abraham prepares to check back in. Here's a look at the replay. They tried to hit her with a pass. Where was the foul?
What?
Where was the foul? Buggs was away from the play. Buggs was away from the play, and she was called for her 4th foul. If they called it for anything, it was a ticky-tacky touch foul right as she knocked the ball away. Coach Nikki is not happy. Thankfully, Baylor still has had 2 fouls to give.
They're looking at the replay.
That was...
Okay.
They're
talking about it.
They're talking things through, but how do you go back and... are they going to go look at the I guess they can look at the replay, but the foul was called. I just don't know what they saw.
Buggs was nowhere near. She's standing over there by Coach Nikki.
There was a teeny tiny bit of contact right as UNLV stole the ball, but not enough to call a foul. And Coach Nikki continues to argue. I'm just aghast at that call. That's huge because right now, as Coach Nikki continues to argue, that gives UNLV the ball back with 26 seconds to go and a chance to cut it to a 1-possession game. Thank goodness Baylor wasn't already over the limit, because that would have given UNLV free throws. Now they're talking something through over there. I just can't believe they called a foul on the floor on Buggs when, of all the players going after things, she actually had backed away from the play, which is what Michael Mata, Baylor's director of ops, is mimicking over there. The officials are talking, but I don't know what they have to talk about because they called the foul on the floor.
And Coach Nikki was over there just trying to call a timeout.
They're talking over something with the official score. Are they looking at the replay? Now, I'm trying to think. Let's see if we see a replay again. I'm trying to think what they could possibly do to overturn this call, Lori, because the only contact by Buggs came right after the turnover, before the loose ball. So, what could they do to overturn this? By the way, let's not lose sight of the fact, Lori, amidst this craziness, Baylor has held UNLV to one of their last 15 from the floor.
Wow.
UNLV's got some looks close to the basket, but Baylor's always been right there with them. Now the officials are talking things through. At the moment, a foul has been called on Dariana Littlepage Buggs. In our estimation, a poor call. And in the estimation of the Baylor bench, more vociferously than you and I, a poor call. And now the officials are going to talk it through. They're telling something to the scorekeeper across the way. I mean, well, I thought he said successful, but it couldn't be successful if UNLV has the ball and Baylor was charged with the timeout. I'm not sure what Coach Nicky asked them to check, so we just don't know. We don't know. Here's what we do know. UNLV will have the ball down by 4 with 26.2 seconds to go after just a very confusing call by the officials there. I don't know what to say about that. There was no real contact. Buggs had backed away from the play, and they called it for a foul.
Well, Buggs has 4 fouls in case you're counting at home.
Baylor, by the way, Lori, has outscored UNLV 15-5 in this fourth quarter after UNLV had outscored Baylor by 9 in the third.
Well, Baylor needs another big stop right here.
Yeah.
Again, UNLV, by calling that timeout, advances the ball since it's obviously under a minute to play.
Yeah. UNLV will play with Lott, Roland, Elohim, Brown, and Alexander, who's playing it in from the top of the arc. Alexander looks, fires it down low to Brown beneath the bucket. Nice job by Abraham.
She traveled.
And she traveled with the basketball.
I didn't think that was a foul.
Abraham stood her ground,
yeah.
but after that last call, I wasn't sure. Kind of had to hold my breath. But a travel on Brown. Abraham did a good job just keeping her hands up under the basket. Now it's Baylor basketball with a 4-point lead.
Now
Coach
here we
Nicky
go, right
calls a
here.
timeout.
They show it in the feet slide right here. Watch, right there.
Oh, she stepped on
out of bounds.
There you go.
Okay. Whatever they called, but she's definitely out of bounds.
She stepped on the baseline.
And so Baylor calls a timeout, so they'll advance the ball now with 24.2 seconds left.
Wow, how about UNLV in this fourth quarter, Lori? Baylor has done a nice job on them defensively. You look in this fourth quarter, UNLV is just 2 of 16, 0 of 3 from downtown, and they have turned the ball over twice. That was just the second turnover. It actually felt like a little more than that, but nonetheless, Baylor has really clamped down, and UNLV's got some good looks that danced on the rim that just haven't fallen, but Baylor has altered those shots, and now Baylor, with a successful inbounds here and a made free throw or two, could put UNLV in a tough spot. It'll be Fauntleroy to play it in. Dong back out on the floor for the Bears. It's played into Talia Scott on the right baseline, and Scott is fouled by Alexander.
Well, that's who exactly they wanted the ball to. You know, Baylor had moved, instead of throwing the ball, because, again, under 24 seconds left, you don't want to throw the ball back towards the UNLV goal. So Baylor was trying to get the ball inside to Talia Scott.
UNLV and their next foul will send Baylor to the line. Now Jana will play it in beneath the basket, having some trouble, flings it in last minute to Talia Scott, who's fouled again, this time by Elohim, and this will send her to the free throw line. That's the 5th foul on UNLV, and now Talia Scott will go to the line, where she is at 88% on the year. Jana Van Geitenbeek checked in just for that inbounds play. Dong did as well, and now they exit Markayla Johnson, Dariana Littlepage, Buggs back in. Baylor 58, UNLV 54, but Scott going to the free throw line with 22.5 seconds left. First one is up. It's good. It's a 5-point game.
And, you know, it's just a gutsy kind of play for Jana Van Geitenbeek to make, that you could just stand there knowing that the 5 seconds is nigh, but you still get the basketball in.
Second free throw by Scott rattles home. 6-point Baylor lead, 22.5 seconds to go. It was Scott who gave Baylor the lead for the first time in the fourth quarter. Now the Bears are trying to make sure that they do not relinquish that. 60-54, 22.5 seconds to go. UNLV had 2 timeouts left. They now have 1 following that one, and they're going to talk things through. You know, they're probably going to need to try to hit a quick 3 and then force a turnover or foul.
this has been the longest minute and a half of a basketball game.
It has.
But this is the kind of game that you want to play in, especially on the road when your backs are against the wall, the crowd is against you. You've been a little discombobulated in that third quarter.
Baylor has shown they can kind of reset themselves, refocus. And now with 22 and a half seconds to play out of the timeout, Elohim will play it in from the right sideline and hits Alexander with the pass. Back in the corner to Elohim on a design play. She can't clear the three, and Kyla Abraham blocks Rowland's three-point shot. Kyla Abraham with another strong defensive play for the Bears. Another block. It's their 10th of the night. 3 by Abraham, and that should just about do it with 15.8 seconds to go.
The way that Baylor closed off on Ibrahim, help me out here, Elohim, excuse me. They closed out on her.
And Abraham hits the first free throw.
Boy, I don't think there was any arc on that, but well done, Kyla.
Kyla Abraham now on the season from the free throw line, a robust 2 of 3.
Oh my gosh, way to go.
Make it 3 of 4. And the Baylor lead is 8 with 14 seconds to go. UNLV in desperation mode now. They find Elohim on a handoff, under 10 seconds to play. Baylor about to put the finishing touches on a road win here. Baseline jumper by Rowland, too strong. Offensive rebound by Alexander. She can't get it back up there, and that's the ball game. A spirited fight here in Las Vegas goes Baylor's way, 62-54. Thanks to just really a gutsy fourth quarter effort by the Bears after UNLV had threatened to take control of this game in the third.
My goodness, I mean, there's so much to go around. I think that total team effort there in that fourth quarter. My goodness, and what a block from Kyla Abraham. Again, what I was trying to say was that Baylor got over the screens, closed out Elohim, who was trying to get the three. They got the ball back over to Alexander, who had to try to. Was that Alexander who had to try that three?
Oh, you know, that was Rowland.
Sorry, Rowland trying the three from the top of the key, and wow, did Kyla Abraham just close that out? I thought she tried to get the ball after she pulled down that block of her own and get it to Bugs real quickly on an outlet, but then she is fouled, goes to the free throw line, and she knocks them both down. So Baylor 6 of 6 from the free throw line over the last minute and 7 seconds after it was a 2-point game, and they extend this one into an 8-point victory on the road. And it's a tough environment to play. Huge crowd. Shout out to UNLV by the way that they supported their team today. But Baylor winning today 62-54 here in Las Vegas.
First Central Credit Union postgame show is next. We'll talk to Coach Nikki, perhaps a player as well, give you stats, other scores, and more, all on the way from Las Vegas, following a 62-54 Baylor win. And I'm going to hold it here just a moment. Let's see, is Coach Nikki coming to us or to TV? We'll see. She gives you like television. Looks like television. We'll take a break and come back with the postgame show after this. Baylor win, 62-54 on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to NextLink Internet. With NextLink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just
I am very glad.
Speeds up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, NextLink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give NextLink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip. Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud. Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems too good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Fox Sports Radio, 93.9 K230CK and KRMX HD3 Waco.
This has been live coverage of Baylor women's basketball. Now it's time for the First Central Credit Union post-game show. Brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Central National Bank, proud season sponsor of Baylor women's basketball. Nissan, innovation that excites. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Stay tuned as we break down the game. Listen to highlights, talk with Coach Colin, players, and more. All coming up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Well, it was a good game tonight here in Las Vegas. A great crowd and a scrappy UNLV team that gave Baylor about everything they could handle. But the Bears authored a fantastic fourth quarter here, outscoring UNLV 19-5 after UNLV had opened up a 6-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. Talia Scott giving the Bears a lead that they would not relinquish. That came with about... We will tell you that came with 4:23 to play. Yep. So you think about that, Lori. UNLV had a couple of chances to go up by double digits, but the Bears just fought back and were able to bounce back into this and get the win here. And we are joined now. We're going to be joined by Kyla Abraham. Kyla Abraham, a nice game for the Bears tonight, including 3 blocked shots, and including the one that sealed the game. And then not only did she get the block to seal the game, she sunk 2 free throws to boot. And Kyla, thanks for coming over here and joining us. That was a hard-fought game. What role did defense play for you all tonight in getting that done, particularly in the fourth quarter? Well, and you absolutely did that. You held them in the fourth quarter to just 2 of 19 from the floor. And tell you what, you and KJ had a little block party out there. KJ with 5, you with 3 tonight. And, I know you're not always thinking block. Sometimes it's just standing your ground and altering shots. You did that as well. What does that kind of back and forth look like? Sometimes you're just staying there in the post and trying to make the miss. Other times you're going out for the block. Yeah. You just read it and it goes well. I got to say, you've picked up your game. I think we saw you take big strides later last year, even bigger strides this year. For you, what's the biggest component for you in just playing the way you want to?
Kyla, the team they hung in there during that third quarter. That was really a difficult quarter, but you all stayed together. What was Coach Nikki's message to you right before the team went out there for the fourth quarter, which ended up being a really decisive quarter for the Bears? I'd say so. You outscored them 19-5 to end the game, and congratulations on the big block and those 2 free throws. We were cheering for you.
Well, a great game, and now you head back to Waco. Another one in less than 48 hours, so make it 2 wins on the weekend. Kyla, thanks for joining us. Congrats on the win. That is Kyla Abraham joining us here on the First Central Credit Union postgame show. Appreciate her. Another big game, and now we are about to be joined by Bears head coach Nikki Collin. Her postgame comments are brought to you by Alliance Bank. Alliance Bank, it is your bank. Hard-fought win tonight for the Bears, 62-54, as everyone gets settled in here at the Pavilion in Las Vegas. And Coach Nikki, appreciate you being with us here. Make sure you can hear us okay, and work on that a little bit better. There we go. Boy, Coach Nikki, just a hard-fought game tonight. We saw your team weather a pretty tough stretch in the third quarter, but then kind of refocus in the fourth, particularly on the defensive end. What were some of the biggest keys in doing that tonight? Mm-hmm.
We agree with you. Yeah. All she did was just calmly knock down 2 free throws for you. Yeah.
Here is Coach Nikki Collin. Baylor with a 62-54 win tonight. You look at the defensive effort there. Sometimes it's getting in close and just contesting shots close to the bucket, because UNLV was clearly trying to get to the bucket late. Sometimes it's going out there and blocking like Kyla did. What did you think about the way in the post your team kind of picked up on what they did, what they did against Duke last week? And did you like the way the decisions they made? Well, you did that tonight for sure. And let me ask you, well, actually, I'll let you go. I know you've got to run here, but we'll just say plenty of opportunities to get better starting Sunday against Le Moyne. Yeah.
Coach Nikki Kyla said your message to them right before the fourth quarter was to decide to be better. And I hope you saw that final 10 minutes that they did decide. I'm sorry they waited to the last 10 minutes, but glad to get a victory here. Well, I know you all do that, and we look forward to that improvement starting Sunday. Coach Nikki, thanks very much. Here's Coach Nikki Collin with her post-game comments. Bears win a tough one tonight in Las Vegas, 62-54 the final. More coming up from Las Vegas after this on the First Central Credit Union postgame show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup of cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab, and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Come by.
Let's be friends.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud. Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself to fraud. If it seems too good to be true,
I didn't either.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics. Proudly serving Texas since 2011.
I did text you about it, but I don't think you and me
History knowledge with integrity and
okay. Oh, okay, but I do.
Winning okay. Magnolia Realty understands the dynamics of making the real estate journey your own and the importance of trust from contract to close. You can find their local agents here in Waco and across the state. In Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and Temple. To get connected and learn more, visit MagnoliaRealty.com. Here's to home. Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
The Bears aren't the only one making plays this season. Your money can score too.
Hi, this is Joe Betsy Tyler with First Central. With our high interest checking, you can earn up to 5% APY just for using your account. No fees, no tricky plays, just real reward.
Visit firstcentralcu.com and open your account today. It's yours. More.
First Central Credit Union. Everything we do for you.
Eligibility and qualifications apply. APY annual percentage yield. Member NCUA.
Want to be the energy our Bears need? Go gold with Baylor Athletics this season and be the gold factor across each of our sports. Wear exclusive Go Gold apparel from the Baylor Bookstore and the Spirit Shop at upcoming Go Gold dates. Stay up to date on all your golden opportunities to create an electric home atmosphere by visiting BaylorBears.com/GoGold. Sick 'em Bears.
Today we have two very special guests on our program. Introducing and live.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other.
Interesting. Both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Soda.
Okay, last spot right here. Downright. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop hip. Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hard-fought game here in Las Vegas tonight, 62-54, the final. The Bears with a spirited fourth quarter. They trailed by 6 at the end of the third. They win this one by 8 as they hold UNLV to just 5 fourth-quarter points. Appreciate Coach Nikki and Kyla Abraham being with us. Understand we may have had some technical difficulties. We apologize if that's the case. Some good comments there from them, and tell you what, the block Kyle had late, the free throws, the defense was strong. Coach Nikki knows, Lori, there's still a lot of things they need to do to improve. They have not played their best basketball, and as she had said, just because they got a top 10 win right off the bat doesn't mean there's not stuff to fix, and I think we've seen that over the last 2 games still. You like fixing them in a win, and you also, this is me talking now, you want to know how's your team going to respond when they're kind of in a hornet's nest, which this was tonight, down on the road, calls aren't going your way. Well, they did respond very well to that.
They did, and the fourth quarter was outstanding, and I think she was absolutely right. When you needed certain players to step up and make plays, they did, and Yuting Dong did. She scored those the first 2 buckets of that fourth quarter, and then followed by her former Auburn teammate in Talia Scott. So they themselves, Dong and Scott, rolled on an 11-0 run that gave Baylor the lead that they never relinquished, and Baylor just gutted one out. And you're right. Remember, what day is this? It's November 14th. It's not even the middle, technically, of November yet. And there's a long way to go for Baylor. They've got another game on Sunday afternoon, and then they head to Orlando to play 2 really good teams in Iowa and Davidson. So, Baylor just continues to build, but I think it was a real positive to see some good minutes again from Kayla Johnson, but to see a really skilled player in Yuting Dong to get out there and be comfortable and shoot the ball with confidence in places where she can really excel and score.
This is the First Central Credit Union postgame show. First Central Credit Union, everything we do for you. We're brought to you by Rudy's, proud sponsor of Baylor Athletics. Be sure to stop by your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com for some real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. Don't forget, Rudy's serves breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. Let's take a look at the stats now in this game. One that stood out to me, I liked Baylor's bench outscored UNLV 16-8. First first game this year that Baylor's bench has outscored the opposition on this season. Obviously, you want to make that a regular thing, but you like that Baylor was able to do that tonight. This was a close game throughout. Neither team led by more than 8 points. Luckily, Baylor matched their largest lead in the fourth quarter, late fourth quarter, for a final score of 62-54. Let's take a look at team stats. Baylor outshot UNLV 41-32%. The Bears held them to 21 of 65 shooting, including 5 of 22 from beyond the arc. They were 4 of 8 from downtown in the third quarter, 1 of 14 the other 3 quarters. Baylor 9 of 10 from the line. UNLV is 7 of 11. Turnovers, Baylor one more than UNLV. You don't like that. 15-14. Both teams scored 14 points off of those turnovers. Baylor ended up out-rebounding UNLV 51-38. UNLV had a 3-point edge. Second chance points 11-8, but that's a gap Baylor closed as time went on. UNLV had 2 in double figures. Jasmine Lott, who was able to come back on the floor after being injured. You're glad to see that. She finished with 18 points on 7 of 12 shooting. Meadow Rowland, a double-double, her third of the year, 13 points, 11 rebounds. Just 1 in double figures for the Bears. You can guess it's Talia Scott, 23 points, including the go-ahead bucket with just under 4 minutes to go to give Baylor a lead they would not relinquish. 8 of 18 from the field, 3 of 9 from beyond the arc. She had 5 assists to go along with 2 rebounds. Dariana Littlepage Buggs a point away from a double-double, 9 points, 12 rebounds. Kirsten Johnson did a little bit of everything tonight. 9 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 6 rebounds, and a career-high 5 blocked shots. Yu Ting Dong, after scoring just 2 points in the first 2 games as a Bear, gave you something really good off the bench tonight. 8 points and a rebound. Those 8 points came on 4 of 5 shooting. She was very efficient. Kyla Abraham and Markayla Johnson, 4 points apiece off the bench. Kyla Abraham had 3 blocked shots and 4 rebounds for the Bears. Markayla Johnson had 4 rebounds and 2 blocked shots. 5 points for Bella Fauntleroy on 1 of 8 shooting, 7 rebounds. Not her best offensive game, but a really good defensive game. And Coach Nicky highlighted that. He said, how did Baylor do it in the fourth quarter? First thing she said was because Bella Fauntleroy was out.
Yeah, and I agree, because Bella just stays incredibly calm. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. She's, I guess, a kind of Caitlin Bickle. You know, it gets everybody in the right place. And directs things, and you really did miss Bella not being out there, but picking up those 3 fouls. She was so valuable to have during the final 10 minutes. And can we talk free throw shooting again?
Yeah.
Baylor, 9 of 10. And the biggest ones were those last 6 that they knocked down, but they've been really good at the free throw line. And that's one trend that I hope continues throughout the rest of the season, because sometimes that came and bit Baylor in the behind a little bit last season. It's just that not being very efficient from the free throw line.
62-54 the final. We'll take our final timeout on the First Central Credit Union post-game show. It's been a busy day in Baylor athletics. Lori will have a few scores, and then we'll get you ready for Sunday versus Lemoyne back in Waco, following a 62-54 Baylor win here in Las Vegas on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
The Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event is on, and there's no one key to victory. You need strength. You need power. You need agility. You need a team that shows up ready to win. And Toyota Trucks, yeah, they bring the full roster. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for it all. With a power out,
I wonder if they grabbed our suitcases back there.
Crew. Toyota Tundra and Tacoma don't just show up to game day. They dominate.
You want me to run back there?
Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. But hurry, these deals won't last forever.
Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Oh, yes.
Wear green,
Is Reed on this or Reed's on
new
this?
Tundra or Tacoma. Built to take you wherever the road leads on game day and beyond.
Okay, good, thank you.
Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back.
You can do a couple scores and then we'll wrap it up.
When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers.
Sorry, that got chaotic there at the end.
You can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
What's that?
Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
See for yourself why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green, along with her dedicated optometrists and staff. Receive trustworthy insights about your eye health, enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes, face, and neck areas with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Visit greeneyeassociates.com. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
They will play Wisconsin next Thursday in the second round in South Bend, Indiana.
Well, congratulations to Coach Michelle Leonard, Coach Scott Drew, and Coach Nikki Collin. Everyone winning tonight, and now the Bears will get right back to it. 2 games in less than 48 hours. They will play Lemoyne. The Lemoyne Dolphins, by the way, from the Rochester, New York area. And that'll be on Sunday at 2 p.m. We'll be on the air at 1:30. And don't forget that Baylor football plays tomorrow against Utah. That's a 6 o'clock tip. Our coverage begins at 4 p.m. with the Baylor Alumni Tailgate Show. And then the Conecuh Sausage Countdown to kickoff 4 and 5, respectively. Here tonight, Baylor with the victory over UNLV. Baylor's number 7 national ranking put to the test by UNLV, but the Bears got it done here in their first true road game, led by Talia Scott with 23 points into a 62-54 Baylor win. Apologize for those technical difficulties there in the post-game show. I want to say thanks to our producer, Cameron Savoy, back in Waco as always. Speaking for him and Lori Fogelman, I'm Derek Smith. Appreciate you being with us as the Bears remain undefeated on this season, 3-0 now with a 62-54 win.